Hey guys, so we had this planned out and we were trying to figure out how to stream together. So if you caught on either one of our channels, this is Mediumman, in case you're wondering. I'm Melanie. Um, so if you saw that, we didn't realize there was like a little button. All we had to do was click that, and yeah. Anyway, long story short, so if you were another live stream, sorry, but we are here now. We're not doing the intro tonight because we want to get started with things, and we want to get right into it. So hopefully people as people come in, and you guys will have to rewind if you missed this. And guys, we appreciate any super chats. This is going to be streaming on Mediumman's channel as well. Do you want to say hello to your people or give your intro?
So I'm actually streaming to them right now.
Okay.
So I just put it in there. But how you doing, Melanie King's audience? I am Mediumman. I'm glad to be here. Melanie King actually accommodated me on Monday because this is literally like one of the only days that I can stream. So I appreciate her for that. Yeah. So thank you.
Oh no, I'm happy to have him, guys. You know, I've been on like a Mediumman grift. Yes, call it a grift, whatever you want to call it. But I really do think his content is excellent, and this is why I don't do this normally. I told MTR earlier I'm going to grift off of him because the views on my channel are low and his are high. So I said I'm grifting. He gave me permission to steal his videos, but I want to get you to just, because a lot of people don't know, maybe don't know your background or why, you're doing this. Can you give us that whole thing?
Oh, sure. Well, Mediumman, how y'all doing? I'm originally from California, lived in Sacramento, California, and also Long Beach. My pride and joy is actually my daughter. I have a 19-year-old baby girl, still call her my baby girl. So pretty much what you see here is basically because of her, right? So and then also I am engaged. So I have to throw that in there, just in case she's watching. Hi, honey.
Hi.
How you doing? And just a professional background. I was in the Air Force for 20 years, retired. I currently work for the government as a public health professional, and I've been doing that for the past 3 years. So basically, when you see my name, medium, most people think it's my height, which is 5'8" 3/4. I'm very open about that. But no, it's actually mathematical definitions and terms. So we use in statistics and all that stuff, we have the median, and it's basically finding the middle number. So when you come into these relationship spaces, you try and find middle ground. And also, every time that I do these relationship discussions, I tackle it from a statistics point of view. So you basically collect data, analyze, interpret, and present. So you can do the same exact thing with numbers, and you could do the same exact thing with relationships. So that's why it took me so long to get on YouTube, because I was on Facebook for about 4 years, and I was just gathering information. I was kind of filling out the climate because I was very unaware to these issues that was going on in the dating market, in particular the Black dating market. So I just used what I've learned in school, and I just took it to the relationship spaces, and here I am. So thank you.
Okay, now can you tell really quickly, because this was impressive. Like, he was stationed at the Pentagon. We talked about this. I grew up in the Pentagon. In fact, my mother's office was hit on 9/11.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I grew up as, like, when I say as it grew up, I after school running around, and in the summertime running around the Pentagon, Colin Powell, all of that. Okay, if you're from the DC area, it's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
But anyway, tell us one thing that you have all this specialty training and specialty things you've done. Can you just run through that real quick? Because it may be too many for him to list, but I was just like, what? Like, tell us about that.
Well, I mean, you're talking about the military training and also the government training. I mean, it's
yeah,
so
like
much.
you have, like, you every time you just list like a top couple things that.
So basically, one of my best accomplishments in the Air Force was becoming an air advisor. So basically, what that means is we go to different countries and we teach host parties nationals on medical care. That is my profession. So I would go to these different countries. Typically, I went to 12 countries in Africa, and we just basically went from country to country, teaching them medical practices, how to do field care, things of that nature, right? And I'm also preventative medicine, which comes with the public health background. So I'm the guy that tells people how hot your food should be and how cold your food should be, and and all that other good stuff, how to stay away from poisonous snakes and things of that nature. that translated into me going into the civilian world, where you get multiple certifications in global health, you get multiple certifications in interagency specialists, and also anti-terrorism officer. I got those certificates while I was in the military doing special operations. So all these coincide with me being a somewhat of a super medical professional, because I can kind of see both sides of the action field stuff that you see on the TV with the guys going into the hot zones. I've been there, deployed 10 times. So yeah, I can kind of relate to pretty much everybody from both sides, because when I first started in the Air Force, I was security forces, which is typically one of the worst jobs that you can have in the Air Force, but I needed that structure. Coming from California, it was the closest thing to being in the Army infantry, so to speak. So yeah, so they kind of set you right, and they, I guess, help you on your way, moving forward. And that's what made me become a better medic. And then, getting my education and being an asset once I retired. And I was actually headhunted in the job basically off of my LinkedIn. So what they do is, if you guys have never been headhunted for a position, they just go on your LinkedIn and they look for people who fit the bill, and they contact you and they offer you a position. And that's how I was offered my position at the government agency that I'm working for now. And that's just basically off of the certifications, public health, anything else that I've done, environmental health, global health. They looked at that and it was like, hey, this guy fits what we're looking for. Do you want this job? So it was basically up to me to accept this job. And I took it. 3 years later, I'm still here. So
all right. So, and if you guys want to know more, I think you have a video that says the military saved my life. Do you go into all the details about that? So guys, make sure you check that out. Now, I don't know. I think you got a super chat on yours from Facebook.
Oh, well, why can't I see this stuff?
Are you on stream? Are you on StreamYard? Does it show?
I'm on StreamYard.
I'll pop it up for you. There it is. I think that's definitely that's from your channel. Sorry, that's from your channel.
Okay, let me pull mine up, because I'm looking at yours. And let me see if it's Enter Studio.
Guys, it's a little bit of a struggle stream, but we're getting the rhythm. At least we figured out how to simulcast at the same time now.
Let me see if this pops up, because I don't know if I can see on mine. Wait. Okay.
Because I popped it onto my screen. I don't know if it's showing on yours. You don't see the chat?
I know what I can do. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to make sure I can see your stream, and then I can see the chats. Hold on 1 second.
All right. So guys, we were going to do a call-in show, but we were trying to figure out the technical part. So instead, we're going to have a conversation. He's got some dating wins and losses for men and women, and I may play devil's advocate. I'm going to be, sometimes we'll see. I'll be super modern woman. Give him some pushback, and we're going to get it cracking. Okay, guys, we'll make it spicy tonight. And if you guys have any questions or things you want to say, appreciate super chats on either my channel or Mediumman. But we're going to get this. This should be fun tonight.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at it on YouTube. That'll work. Hold on. I think that's pretty good.
I don't know why it's not letting you see the chat on StreamYard.
I don't like YouTube. It's lagging.
Yeah, you got to hit live. All right, I'll read it out. I'll read out yours. Does it show it on your screen, the super chat that's up?
I see. Okay, happy life. You said that's good stuff. I see that one. Wait, it's coming together. We good.
Do you see the one? It's from Gene ERB 305.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's I see it. Okay, yeah. So when you pop them up, yeah, I could definitely see it. So thank you. That's my guy, man. What's good, Gene? Good to see you here. Thank you, brother.
All right. So we appreciate it, guys. This is new, so we'll see who comes in and not, but we're getting it together. All right. So what did you want to start with tonight?
So basically, we talked offline a little bit about the dating wins and losses. And for the men, it's pretty clear cut. When men go on dates and they invest time and money into a woman, if it ends in sex, then guys consider that a win, right? Depending on how much time and money you spend on this woman. So let's say you spend 3 months trying to court this woman, and then after the end of that 3 months, you end up having sex with her. Mm-hmm. Most guys will be like, oh man, I kind of lost on that, but it did end in sex, so it's not all that bad. But with women, it's kind of different. And this is what I wanted to tackle because we never have women explain this. So, what do
Mm.
women consider wins and losses on the dating market? So, is it just cut and dry? Is if this doesn't end in marriage, then that's a loss. You see what I'm saying? So, I
Okay.
want to see if women take anything else out of dating outside of the dating or the courting process with this guy ending in marriage. So what else is there? Like what would you say is a win outside of it ending in marriage?
I think, well, for me, it would,
Mhm.
well, I don't believe in paperwork marriage. That's a whole nother
Okay.
discussion. Okay, I've been divorced. Okay. But I would say, yeah, I think most women go into dating for the most part
Mhm.
thinking about a long-term relationship and could I marry this guy? Could it lead to marriage? Because most women want to get married.
Mhm.
And so I do think women go into that with that mindset. Now, of course, we know women go on foodie dates. They use men for, like, some women just want sex. They're,
Mhm.
in these streets doing their thing. I learned from Mediumman, stop trying to change those women, stop judging those women. Just understand the data and the consequences, okay,
Thank
ladies?
you.
So yeah, like you go into it, at least for me. So I've got to have like high chemistry in terms of high rapport. Like,
Right.
and if there's one little thing, if there's a couple things that throw me off, I'm just like, could I really, like, we think of, I invest way more into that date. Whereas from a man's perspective, what does, like, every date, he's not thinking about, could this be my, like, this is my wife, or with that outcome in mind.
Right. And that's the other thing. Like I think men and women approach dating a little bit different. And what I was thinking a win for women could be uh gathering data, I guess, going into my field, right? So if you go on a date with the guy, you get to figure out what you like and what you don't like,
Mhm.
right? And that's something that you need to stand on. And that's one of the biggest things that I see wrong with women in the dating market. They'll set a standard, but then they'll break it for a particular guy, right? And that's a problem,
What
right?
kind
And
of guy?
I've talked about this, right? And so,
Have you had that happen to you when you were dating? Like, women, you would tell them like certain things, or they had a standard, but then they would break it for you?
yeah, I would tell them like I'm not looking for anything serious, and they would make a joke about it and say, oh man, well, I can't date you, ha ha ha. Okay, and then next thing I'm sharing candles, but
Yeah. Someone asked tonight too, where's the candles? Where's the candle? Where's the candle? But it's so, like, when you, okay, so let me just do a role play really quickly. So, like, I don't know where you would meet a woman or whatever. Guys, he's engaged. Before you, someone's gonna clip this. I'm just please keep in mind, people will take anything. But you guys know this is not what this is, guys. Okay. All right. So, all right. So let's do pretend, like, where would you, I think you said you met your fiance at the gym.
At the gym.
So,
Mhm.
okay. So if you were to ask me out, like, let's just do a quick role play because it's to see what that would
So
look like.
are we in the gym?
We in the gym.
Okay.
I'm got my sunscreen that I'm lifting.
Okay.
Trying to act like I don't see any guys looking at me. Just looking down. All right, but we've already talked, but now you're asking me out. Let's just skip that whole thing.
Okay. So if I meet you in the gym, and I'll just use my scenario for example, when I met my fiance, we were in the gym, I was working out. She waited because I had seen her a couple times in the gym. We had the same kind of workout schedule, workout times. So I guess she wait, I'm is that you? Did
What?
you do something? I hear an echo.
No.
Okay. Well, anyway, so after I got done with my workout, she came down and she saw me drinking my protein shake. So she said something corny by saying, "Hey, does that really work? Like the protein?"
All right.
And I'm keeping it very professional. I am professional in the gym. I'm like, yeah, and I'm talking about the protein content and what it does for you, and you need to drink it in your anabolic window and blah blah blah. And she was just sitting there listening to me, and she was like, "Yeah, I need to go get some. Where did you get that from?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I got it, at the Pentagon at the time, right?" And she was like, "Well, I can't get in there." And we start kind of joking and laughing. And she was like, "Well, you usually work out the same times I do." I was like, "Yeah, I see you in there a couple times." And she was like, "Well, we got to sync up schedules because you can teach me how to do this or whatever and what to drink."
Wait, so she shot her
Yeah,
shot at
but
you?
that's how it pretty much happens in the gym. If
For
you're a
you?
guy, yeah, who's My personal experience, guys,
Ah.
I rarely approach women in the gym, if not ever, right? But I
Right.
just put up a video of me doing like front squats on my other page, right? And there's two young ladies that's right next to me. After I got done doing that video, they said, "Hey, if you want me to hold the camera, I got you." And I was like, "Okay, cool," right? Because remember, I told you I have an issue with,
Yes, I was
yeah,
trying to
I
I
have an
give you
issue with,
some
and I was
pointers.
trying to be
Yeah.
sly about recording, and they
Right.
saw that, so they just came up to me and said, "Hey, if you need me to hold your phone, I got you." And I was like, "Oh man, I appreciate that." Very respectful. I didn't seen all the TikTok videos where the guys are getting outed for trying to talk to girls. So I was like, "Yeah, cool." So the one young lady, she set up a dumbbell or barbell, and she put the little camera. She already had the stand, and she set my phone on the stand, and she recorded me. Yeah, so it's so like I said, I don't approach women in the gym unless
Okay.
I did one time when my daughter was with me. She saw this girl's shoes, and she said, "Hey, those are nice workout shoes." They were like Hoka or whatever they call it. And I went up to the girl and I was like, "Hey, where'd you get those shoes from?" It sounded like a line. And then I had to tell her, "Hey, my daughter asked, where did you get this?" She was like, "Oh, okay." And it kind of, we became cool in the gym, still cool to
Okay.
this day. So stuff like
Okay.
that. Like I don't,
So
I
you
don't
couldn't even do a role play where
know.
like because you're not approaching any women. You just try to like just do your thing and attract them. Is it, or would you say, because I mean the gym is one place, but you're
Mhm.
tell them give your height and your weight again.
So I am 5'8" and 3/4. I got to put the 3/4 in there because when I wear Tim's, I'm about 5'10", so I'm stomping with the big dogs, right? So yeah, and I'm also 225 pounds now. So
Which
I'm actually,
is
yes.
huge. I was a fitness competitor, fitness
Mhm.
model, all that stuff. That is a lot of weight.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
lot
I'm
of weight to
calling you
maintain.
5'9". Let's stop the cap. At 5'9", that is a lot of weight. And
Yeah.
so, but it's muscle
Mhm.
mostly. So women, would you find women are like they feel like it's too much muscle, or do you find that you draw more women in that way?
I'm pretty sure some women may think it's too much, but and this is something that I got from my brother. He's also an accomplished amateur bodybuilder as well. He said that there's a difference between a guy who's big in the gym and can lift, heavy weights, and a guy who looks aesthetic. I look aesthetic. So when you see
Okay.
me, you'll see every muscle, every delt, every bicep, tricep, everything is moving, everything is twitching. So that's attractive to women. Now, and I don't want to shit on the power lifters, but power lifters tend to be big guys, and
Mhm.
they may look out of shape, but they are very strong. But there's a difference between a bodybuilder's physique and a powerlifter physique. So my goal was to be as proportioned as possible to make sure you could see every muscle. And I am, I guess, cleaned, all the way you could see everything. So if you had to, I guess, liking my physique to somebody, it would probably be Dexter Jackson or Flex Wheeler for those who know bodybuilding like that. But yeah,
You're gonna make
everything
me
is like in place. So yeah.
you're gonna make me pull up Dexter Jackson.
Yeah.
You're gonna make I was heavy, like I know more dates, more plates. Like I was
Yes.
heavy in the body. Nick's channel, which is
Yes.
weightlifting and stuff. I've been to the
Mhm.
Arnold Classic. I've been to the Olympia.
Yep.
So when I tell y'all I'm into it, y'all probably think I'm lying, but good gracious. Now
No, you
this is just him in competition. He looks
mhm.
insane right
And
here.
in no way am I sitting there saying I look like, I'm just
No,
saying.
no, no. I'm not
Yeah.
saying, but people are gonna be like, good Lord.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is just a similar type of bill, but not like exactly that. Okay.
Right.
And guys, these guys are on a stage right
Mhm.
here. They're dehydrated, they're vascular, like there's a whole process to get everything to pop.
Right.
So that's what he's equating his physique
Mhm.
to this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the best way to describe it for the guys who are in the gym, I have a 32-inch waist, right? But my shoulder girdle, it teeters around 61 to 59 inches. So yeah, so that shoulder to waist ratio is what does it. You get that V taper, and that makes you look bigger, right? So that's what
Mhm.
most people look at. They'll say, "Hey, this guy is big, but what does his waist look like?" you know, and so I try
Right,
and
having the
maintain my
gut.
weight. Yeah. So that's why
Right.
when I post like my suit stuff, when I get my custom suits made, some guys they'll look in there and they'll say, "Man, just like you got a 32-inch waist," and they'll look at that and they're like, "I don't know how they make suits for you," but it's just something I'm used to now. You know, thanks to Kevin Samuels, you know, Jeff the Style OG, those guys, so they hooked me up.
They got you hooked up. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you say to guys? Because, and then we'll go back to the original thing. What do you say to guys who would say, well, that's too jacked, that's too ripped? Women aren't looking for that. Because I hear this, they'll hear like, oh, women want a dad bod, or
Mhm.
women just want a guy who's, basic. What is your philosophy on that?
Now, I tell guys don't fall into that trap because that's just a scheme that a lot of women use on social media to get more followers. Because men in their
Mm,
minds, they'll think that, hey, no woman wants a guy who looks like me if I'm out of shape. But if you get a big booty influencer who's on IG and saying, you know what attracts me? Dad bods. And then all these guys will go over there and they'll,
right.
oh, she likes dad bods. And they'll like her pictures, send her money on OnlyFans. And I tell guys, do not fall into that trap because there are more women than not who like in shape guys. So why would you want to rely
Hmm.
on the women who say they want dad bods and not get in the gym? And that's the first step, particularly for shorter guys, right? I see some guys in the comments are saying this guy's 5'8". Cool, right? And like I said, I didn't know that was supposed to be a barrier until I got on social media. I didn't know that weight
Mm.
was or height was such a thing, such a big thing in these spaces. And then, granted, I know that women have a preference for tall men, but that has never stopped me from doing what I wanted to do on the dating market. And that probably was because I decided to go to the gym, right? So, and I just want guys to understand that I don't want you to get complacent to where you think that you can go out on the dating market and Rihanna is selling these Fenty boxers with chubby guys on there, and you like, oh well, if she's promoting it, then I can do that. No,
Right.
that's being complacent. That's lazy. So that's one of the biggest things that I focus on with guys, and they contact me offline and they'll say, hey, I need to pick your brain because I'm out of shape. And I'm like, why? You don't have kids, you live by yourself. What is the issue? Why are you out of
Mm.
shape? Right. So yeah, so don't
Mhm.
fall into that trap, guys.
No, and I agree with it. Like, I get what people are saying. Like, if you like the guy, you don't need him to be, but so much. But
Yeah.
my thing is like, why not maximize your opportunities? You're going to catch more women, and same thing for women. You're going to catch more, men. You're going to have more men coming your direction if you are in shape, active at the gym, and having your body fat lower.
Right.
But a lot of women just think, oh, I just got a fat booty. Okay, we'll say it like that. Or they're used to, especially as women age, they think they can get away with the same things. And I'm just
Right.
like, sis, you can't. Like, I don't understand. It's just such resistance to it when it would upgrade the type of people you attract. And
That's one of the things I
it's your
didn't
health as
understand.
well.
Yeah, that's the main thing, like the healthy part of it. And I don't think women understand why most guys, some of it may be cosmetic. Guys say, hey, I want an in shape woman because I like beautiful women. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. But if you're a woman who, let's
Let me
say,
flip this
you
around.
have no debilitating diseases, you are young
Let me
and
see.
you're overweight, right? What is the problem? Because of the fact that when guys go out on the dating market and they see you, and let's say they are marriage minded, they're going to look at you and they're going to say, hey, this woman is already a little bit overweight. She's going to gain a little, 30 to 40 pounds when she has a baby. And then she's never been to the gym in her life. So that's going to be tough to try and teach her when you get married. So just imagine this, guys. Put this in your head. You get this woman where the fat, and this is something that Kevin Samuel said. He said the fat lands in the right places. In the booty. Go ahead. So in the booty, in the breasts, all the places that you like, right? But
Mhm.
she's never been to the gym in her life. She's never worked out. It's just because she's young. She has a high metabolism. It is what it is. So you get into a relationship with her, you marry her, she gets pregnant, 30 to 40 pounds right then and there. So now you count the years. Okay, you said this was baby weight on year one. You said this was baby weight on year two. Every year passes, she gains 5 to 10 pounds. Now she's 40 to 50 pounds overweight. And then you tell her, go to the gym and lose weight. She don't know what she's doing in there because she's never been. So it's going to be hard for her to maintain the consistency to lose that weight. And that's why I tell guys, if you want a woman who is in shape, you need to make sure that she is in the gym prior to meeting you. She needs to be a gym rat. You cannot just get one of these women who look good and then just assume that she's gonna pick it up. It's very rare, guys. I'm a nutritionist. That's what my bachelor's is in. I've have so many patients that I've interviewed, and we have couples that come in together, and this is the problems that they have, because the women will say, "I've never worked out." And they're like, well, he's telling me to go to the gym 5 times a week. It's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So yeah, so
it's something that, like, yeah, and I agree. Like, you don't want to have to, whoever you get with, that's who they are. Like, not saying people can't improve, but they can also decline. So you have to take whoever they present themselves as, that's it. Like, don't try to, and I think women do this a lot more so than men, where we try to change it. Hold on one second. I just realized, guys, my camera has me facing the opposite way of him. And I have been trying to fix it. Hold on. I'm going to remove myself and come right.
Okay. So I think what she's saying, I guess we're supposed to be looking together, but what's going on, chat? I'm looking at you guys up top. I can see the chat right here. So yeah, so I appreciate it. For the people on my stream, I will definitely pull you up here in a second. Once I hold on, let me see that. I see Shamar Lawrence. He says, "Great point, Mediumman. What's good, brother?" So I looked up there real quick just to check it out. This is pretty cool. Like I said, I very rarely collab, guys. So let me shout out one of the first people that I actually collab with, Jay Fleming. He's a advocate for Passport Bros. He's currently in Brazil right now. That was the first stream that I ever collabed with someone on his 1,000 subscribers. So that's my man over there. Appreciate him supporting me as always, and everybody in the Mediumman chat, and also Melanie King's chat. This is amazing. Thank you.
So listen, I'm going to try to move around this way so it doesn't look so weird when I'm talking to you. Hopefully this mic doesn't fall down. But we'll fix it up. Okay.
You sure?
Yeah, I listen, because it looks crazy the other way. All right. So in talking about this, we started when we were talking about how when a woman, like, in terms of, she'll start out by saying to you, like we were going to do a role play, but you're not approaching women. So let's change that up. So if you would say, what would you say to her? Like, you say, I would like to take you out. And then would you just right away just say, I'm not looking for a relationship? Or how would that work?
Yeah, so women are very intuitive when they, talk to men. They'll make their assumptions based off of what you look like, I guess. So basically what I get is when women see me from the outer appearance, they see a guy who's in shape. So it's like, oh, he has to be a player. So they start asking questions. They start asking, are you looking for marriage? Are you looking for, marriage minded is a term that I've heard since 2012, 13. And I'll say, well, not at this point, because of the fact that I'm in school. I'm trying to focus on getting my degree at the time. And I'll give reasons why. I never let women get to why, right? Because when they start asking questions, then it makes it seem like you're leaving things out. So I always make sure that I let them know the why first. And then I'll make a valid point by saying, yeah, I'm in school. I got this coming up. I'm doing this. And they'll process it. And they have to make a decision right then and there. Like, hey, do I want to go forward, or do I want to go find a man who is marriage minded? And that's where I leave the decisions up to women. And that's why you heard me say, women are not dumb, right? Right. They make the decisions on their own. So I just leave the ball in their court. So after that's established, then they'll say, well, yeah, okay, we can hang out. And hanging out leads to other things. Right?
Wait, where's that pot that got in the pot?
Yeah.
Is that what it leads to?
I mean, other things.
Other things. What is the percentage of women, once you tell them what you were looking for, that would still proceed, even though they were looking for marriage or long-term commitment?
Well, you're from the DMV, and being in that hub of business where the Pentagon is, where the financial district is, you meet a lot of professional women and a lot of guys. When I say that I had a different experience in the dating market in the DMV, they're like, man, DMV women are trash. And I'm like, bro, I was like, I'm dating outside of the Pentagon and then, the downtown area of DC. So you meet a lot of women who work for these, financial companies, they're lawyers, and
Mhm.
sometimes they're so busy they don't have time for a real relationship as well. So our schedules just sync, and that's why I enjoyed dating out there, because there was a lot of women who would uh, they were okay with the quote unquote single servant relationship. So if I say, hey, I'm
The
just
servant.
trying to chill, I'm not looking for a relationship. And then this is one thing with professional women, they have huge egos, right? So if
Yeah.
you tell them I'm not looking for anything serious, they think they can match your energy by saying I'm not looking for anything serious either. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. So
Wow.
you have to learn the type of women that you deal with, because like I said, they try and one up you. If you think that I can't withstand this, then I'm gonna show you otherwise, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. So we
And
just proceed from there.
so I've never even heard that ego stance.
Mhm.
I've heard like a woman thinking, well, I'll be special enough to change him.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
for you, you could notice that they had an ego where they feel like they could be just
Mhm.
like you as a man and
Right.
not want relationship and it's no big deal. Have you had women catch feelings though?
Yeah, and I shared this story when I'm in the process of writing my autobiography. So I have like text conversations from a couple of exes that I interviewed, right? And I posted this,
Mm.
and one of my exes, she said that she was mad that I would kick her out of my house, not in a derogatory way, but when I had things to do, such as studying for school, she would just go along with me kicking her out and not give any pushback, because she was like, I didn't want to feel like I was, trying to hang on or whatever. I was trying to stay in your house. So that was her ego saying, hey, I can take this. But then she admitted, I just wanted to stay and be around you while you worked. And I was like, well, why you didn't say that? And she was like, well, I don't know. I just didn't want to run you off, and, things like that. So,
Ah, okay.
and two of those text conversations, they came out the same way. They both said, I'm selfish, for one. I can admit to that, but I'm not selfish with my money. I'm selfish with my time, right? And they all said
Mm.
that, hey, I just wanted to spend more time, more time. And both of these women, one was an officer in the military, and the other one was she was becoming a lawyer, but she was what's the paralegal. She was a
Okay.
paralegal at the time. So yeah, so they had these attitudes like, I can, I don't have to catch feelings, but they really kind of did,
They were
right?
catch the feelings.
And
Oh,
this came years later after they admitted to this, but they cussed me out a little bit, but it was all good. So
wait. They cuss you out back then or they cuss you out
they
now?
cussed me out recently. They was like, yeah, you so effing selfish, and it was
Ooh, they cussed you out.
yeah, it's
But
I
back
had
at the end of the day, they didn't. Like
I mean,
they're
yeah, I
holding on
mean,
to they're holding on to resentment. But
well,
at
I
the
mean,
time they were cool.
they do that. So I mean, it's okay. But we're cool now, But they wanted to be honest, and I told them to be honest. I said, hey, let me know what it is, and they just laid it out. They said, yeah, I'm a very selfish guy. Sometimes I can be emotionless, and this was before I started going to therapy to handle those issues. And yeah, with certain times, one of the women, and I hate to bring up these stories, but one of the women, something I guess bad had happened, and she was expecting me to cry, and I didn't. And she thought that was a red flag. Like, man, everybody else, maybe somebody had died, and then I didn't cry about it, and she thought that was a red flag, right?
But
And I
well,
was
that
like,
was because you were dismissive avoidant.
yes, yeah, and we talked
You
about
guys don't know
it.
attachment styles. I called out his attachment style
Yes,
in a
so
live stream because I figured it out. Yeah, and you do have to go to therapy, especially if you are dismissive avoidant. But that's a whole
right,
nother topic.
it
Now,
is.
if a woman was like, "Well, I'm looking for something more long term," did you ever like pursue or try to convince, or you just be like, like how would you react? And would your reaction cause if a woman turned you down? Would your reaction ever change her mind?
No, no, and like I said, I don't try and change a woman's mind, because I don't want to be overtly manipulative. Because if a woman says I'm not, looking for that, I want a real relationship that leads to marriage, I could easily say, well, maybe you could be the one that could change my mind, you know.
That's
And
the line.
see,
That's
there
the
you go.
player line of the century. But I do know when you don't like when a guy is not pressed, he's just like, all right, like, and he's just like, nice meeting you or
Mhm.
whatever, and he's just not paying you any attention. it can be very attractive to a woman because she's just like she's just thinking, well, how come he's not like pressed for me or like other guys or trying to really do the most? And what I could see myself doing if I did that, we're using this as a hypothetical, okay, and I was just like, no, I'm looking for something long term, but listen, times are hard. I still want to have a good time. So the next I'll see you in the gym more. Oh, hey, how you doing? And whatever. And then I would try to find a way to see if
To
you would
sneak in.
sneak in. Have you had the sneak in?
Yes, because when in the military, we're around each other constantly, right? So if let's say if I approach a woman with the same type of situation, I'm not looking for a relationship. She's like, no, I'm looking for marriage. Okay, cool. It's nice meeting you. Good day to you. We have to see each other on a consistent basis every day. So if she sees me living my best life, and one of the things that used to happen when I was in the military, women would send me flowers to work, right? So if a woman,
I heard you say that. I was wait, stop. Okay, no, because we're into numbers. When you say women, how many women and how many times were you sent flowers? Because
well,
people are going to call cap on you and
okay,
say women didn't send you.
That's perfectly fine. But the funny thing is, one of my friends, she used to work with me. She sent me a DM, and she was like, "Man, you remember when them girls used to send you flowers to work, right?" But this only happened when I was doing short tours. So if I'm in Korea or I'm in Portugal, those are only 12 to 15-month tours. So if I was dating a girl who actually got orders to another base, the way that she would keep in touch with me was to send flowers like, hey, this is a good thing. And I would send her flowers, of course, but I would get flowers as well. So I would say about maybe 3-4 times, the girls that I was dating, they would send flowers. And so if a woman that I was trying to date saw that, she's like, well, this guy is not pressed about me. He got girls sending him flowers. So, and they'll like, hey, what's the big deal? What's the hype? And guys, to be clear, I'm no player. I just pick and choose my spots wisely. I don't do quantity, I do quality. So I can go months without talking to a girl because being deployed for 10 times, I'm not too keen about, masturbating in a tent full of 10 guys. So I can hold my seed, so to speak. I don't want to get crass, but yeah, but that teaches you.
He's keeping it 100. All right,
yeah, because I mean, it's something that happens in the military. When you deploy, you're around a bunch of dudes. I'm not too fond of that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not too fond of going into the porta potty and handling my business. So I developed a way to retain my seed, right? So I'm not pressed over women saying that, hey, I gotta have sex. I gotta have sex. No, I would rather do quality over quantity. I'm not too big on the numbers. I just want the women that I want, and that's who I pursue. So yeah, so
okay. All right. So that was a good opening. What other wins and losses did you want to talk about? You didn't take us all the way. You didn't take us to the barracks. You didn't take us to the. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I just want to make sure.
No, it's keeping it real, guys. And you guys know I do that as well. I'll talk about things because guys, we're grown, and let's keep it real in here.
No, so basically, I want to know you're about to enter the dating market. So what would you consider a win and a loss? So let's say you go out with a guy and you figure out that he is not the one that you want to move on with. Is that just a loss or what else?
Yeah, it's a loss. Because I'm like, I wasted time because keep in mind, I'm 41 and I have 2 children. We wanted to talk about being a single mother as well. And guys, if you see me looking crazy, I tried to, my camera will not, I don't know. It's supposed to be fixed. But anyway, so I don't have really, I'm not 22. So I have to think about dating as investment of my time as well. I run a business. Right. I do have 2 children who are, going into their teen years. So there's a lot of activities and schoolwork and things. And there's only so much mind share or time I can spend in a day. Right. Getting to know a guy. So if I'm getting to know a guy, then we go out and it's a fail. It's just like, it just feels like I've wasted money, even though it may not be money. It's just, for me, time cost a lot.
Yeah, time costs money.
So like I Instacart a lot because I don't have time to walk around the grocery store. I just don't.
Mhm.
So for me, and then also the other component of it is we all know that being a single mother, we are seen as, skeet and retreat. Someone else said, was it ejaculate and
Yeah,
evacuate?
I think I think that was you that was putting all these terms in my chat, and I was learning them.
Because
Yeah, I was
someone put
like,
it
what?
on mine. So I just take it as like though it's I trademark it. No, I'm just joking. But can you imagine a t-shirt ejaculate and evacuate?
I couldn't wear that to the gym.
Ski,
They probably
ski
kicked
and
me out.
skirt life. Um, so yeah, it's a loss unless I'm just looking to get piped down.
Yeah.
Um, and
Funny.
it seems like some women that all their, I mean, listen, times can be hard. When you hit your 40s as a woman, that is your sexual peak.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I will say I am like a teenage boy in my mind. So I can understand why some women like they just listen, it just is what it is. But yeah, it's a L. It's a dub because every day a woman gets older is wasted time. I
Mhm.
don't think women really realize how important time is for
Right.
them. Men don't have the same time scale as we do.
Yeah,
Timetable.
it's kind of flipped. If you're a man that's on his purpose and you're doing the right things, once you get to, I'm 43, you get to this age, then everything is kind of like smooth sailing. If you did the work in your younger years, right? Yeah. It just is what it is, right? I mean, it should be like that. But, sometimes guys don't take advantage of their younger years and they run the streets for too long. And then they get to 40 and they're like, hey, I'm still working as hard as I did when I was 20 and 30. And it shouldn't be like that. You should be to a point where you get to pick and choose where you want to work, how much work you want to do, and then, move forward. But you have to take advantage of those younger years. But some guys don't use that purpose, those purpose years to do that. And then, and I think that's where Kevin Samuels' message got, messed up with a lot of guys because
Mm.
he would always say that, once you get older, you become more valuable to women, you could become more attractive. But if you didn't do the work, then that doesn't apply to you, right? So it only happens when you do the work. Now,
Mhm.
in regards to the single mother thing, I have a little bit of different take on it. I understand that, all the terms that guys use, and I've explained this to women on my panel before. Yes, they are trying to sneak in, and then get out of there, right? Because
Mhm.
they know that single mothers have had sex before. You have these walking things called children that tells us that you have had sex before. So that's why it sounds pretty asinine when a woman says, I'm celibate, even though I have 3 kids. It's
Or
like, well,
some people, some women say, "I'm saving it for marriage."
yes.
Again,
Yeah.
and like you operating like a woman who doesn't have children,
Right.
like it's provable you've had sex.
Somebody.
And for somebody, and you've had 2 children come out of you. And
Mhm.
so like I don't understand. And then there's the whole stepfather thing and taking on someone else's children. Like yeah, so but continue.
No, no, no. And that's actually a good point. I wanted to touch on that as well. So one thing that I want women to understand is that you don't want to make things harder on yourself if you have kids, if you are a single mother. Because if you are coming onto the dating market, you are out of shape and you have a bad attitude, those are 2 things that are working against you. And I tell single mothers, you kind of have to be a little bit better than the woman without children because
Yeah.
they can get away with certain things that you can't. So if there's a level of entitlement and you have
Mhm.
kids, then guys are going to, shy away from that because they're like, well, how you have all this entitlement and you're expecting me to foot the bill for these buckaroos that you have, tagging along, right?
Mhm.
But on the flip side, if you do have those things working for you, you have a good attitude, you are agreeable, and you're in shape, men will pay for pretty. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is true. I have multiple memes where it says it'll show a woman walking on the beach who looks very good, and she's holding the
Mhm.
hand of a little boy. And this guy sitting there saying, hey, I'll be the stepfather, right? Because men will pay for pretty women, so to speak. They will marry pretty women. And if you just happen to have some kids, they will consider, right? And that, I mean, guys, it is what it is. But you don't want those things to work against you. And that's where a lot of women on these internet spaces fail. And
Mhm.
I don't want single mothers to feel like it's all bad, because you can win if you have those things working with you. Because for the most part, a guy, he may have kids too, right? But if
Right.
you're a pretty woman and you're in shape, you have a good attitude, you can get picked up. It's that simple. But it's just, it gets so messed up to where you hear guys, just want to use single mothers for sex, and sometimes single mothers play into that. They will allow guys
Mm.
to have sex with them. And now it's funny, and I'm gonna give you a perfect example, right?
Okay.
I was listening to my friend's podcast, Theo Coop, the Do Better podcast. He was doing a stream on a young woman who frequents a panel show, right?
Okay.
He was reviewing her interview on Kendra G's show, and while
Oh.
he was talking about her, she showed up in his chat, right? And they were kind of, they were going off on her, so to speak. Pretty woman, she had 2 kids, right?
Okay.
And so when she got on the, in the chat, some guy kind of said something, pump and dump or whatever. And she said, she laughed and she said, "I got a man." And I told my friend, I was like, well, yeah, single mothers always got a man, but they rarely have a husband. And and that's the difference. Every time you talk to a single mother on these internet spaces, they'll say, "Well, I got a man." And you're like, "Okay, cool. You do have a man, but do you have a husband?" So single mothers are
Mm.
never short of having guys around them who either want to date them or are dating them at the time. But once the time goes on, it starts to wear into his mind. I have to take care of these kids at some point. So if we go a little bit further, I'm gonna have to invest some real time and some real resources into this single mother. And that's where most guys check out.
Wow.
What women need to do as single mothers, you need to have some male figures that you respect around you to help you vet these guys that you are dating, because you want to make sure that they are serious about their intentions, because sex is, it's there, right? And you have needs, single mothers have needs. Guys know that. So
Yeah.
you have sex, you get into this quote unquote relationship with her for like 3 to 6 months. And then once it starts to sink in, like, man, I got to spend half my funds on these kids. It's like, well, now you're intimidating me, or it's just too much, and all that come out. So that's where I want women to understand it all comes down, single mothers, it comes down to the vetting process. You need men that you respect around you, people that you trust to give you real-time feedback, and you have to be open to accepting that real-time feedback, no matter how good the guy may look, no matter how good the sex is. If he sees something, let's say your dad sees something, let's see your brother, your uncle, I don't like this about this guy because he did this. And you have to consider that. You need to ask him, and then you move forward depending on how he answers the question. But if you're not open to that and you're already in a trance because he makes you feel good in the bedroom, it's really nothing that men can do to help you. Because once women get, what's that word, digmatized? Yeah, we can't tell you anything. So
Once once you're digmatized, like that's it. It's a wrap. But what you said is so true, and I've said this before. Like, if you are like you men fundamentally understand where they lack.
Mhm.
Like, they understand they have to achieve and have to prove themselves, and they understand it's competition in this world. Women do not. And the
Mhm.
messaging is out there that we're all the same. 40 is the new 20, and they treat like a young woman with no kids. Oh, a guy is going to see me with kids as the same thing. But
Mhm.
you have to outcompete. You have to be more feminine, more submissive, more in shape. Like, you have to go above and beyond, because to the victor goes the spoils. And
Right.
I think a lot of women do not understand the difference between sexual attention and relationship intention.
Right.
And if you are a single mother, particularly if you had those children out, when outside of marriage, wedlock, and if you have more than one, baby father, that means
Mhm.
you make poor sexual decisions. You're not a good reader of your intimate relationships. Sure, you can get divorced
Mhm.
and go through that process, but it is still entirely different process mentally where a person is who's having children inside of marriage versus outside of marriage.
It is.
So, but do you think for okay, so a woman who is, because I think a woman who is older and a
Mhm.
woman who has kids, but and then also if you have both, like me, What, I've had people call me grandma. I'm 41. I'm like, I guess I technically Bernice Burgos and I are the same age, and
That's
she's a
funny.
grandma.
That woman looks
So
amazing, and all the women are always calling her grandma. I'm like, I'm telling you, brother, nobody cares. Like,
no,
it's
because I find as I'm going into dating, like I let it be known that I
Mhm.
have children. Now, generally, I I attract a lot of young
Right.
guys, a lot, and they'll just say, well, I want to be they don't care or whatever, because I also I'm not having any more children, I don't
Yeah.
plan to.
Mhm.
So if you want children, it doesn't make sense. But I don't think a lot of women like think through that logically, and like, okay, this guy generally who's younger than you, he's
Mhm.
not, if he doesn't have children, he's going to want children of his own eventually, but they will think that they can build a relationship. So I'm when I vet guys, I'm looking at, okay, does he already have children?
Mhm.
Usually, because guys, it's just, the same number of divorced men and women that are out here
Right.
on the market, or
Mhm.
people who have, actually women have more children.
Yeah.
Women in the black community,
Women have more
women have
children,
more
and
children.
there's more single men in the black community. There's more single men than single women, but there's also more married black men than married black women. So it's kind of a different dynamic. So
And there's more single men who are childless
right.
as well than women. So women, I don't think, understand the numbers and don't
Yeah.
understand these things. You've got to outcompete. You got to outcompete, and you've got to date within your range somebody who has children, who in of a certain age. But if you're dating other guys outside of those parameters, you're going to get ran through.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, some women are okay with that. And that's where I tell people stop trying to change their mind. Like, it's okay. I sent you a meme where that girl was like, I'm young, I'm out here dating to
Yeah,
try and have sex. So
yeah.
so it's not your job to be, the stern black man to be like, no, sister, you need to stop thinking like that. That's not your job. She made her decision. Leave it alone, right?
Mhm.
There's other women that you can talk to that may think otherwise, but not this woman. Let her be what y'all call it, the streets. Let her be for the streets and
What's
enjoy
funny?
herself.
You didn't know certain things. Like, I didn't know this whole thing about short men. I didn't know about any of this stuff
We talked about that.
until I was getting divorced, because I haven't been out here in like 15, 16 years. So I was just like, what is going on? I didn't know what the streets were. I'm so terrible. I didn't know what a side chick was. That's how bad. Now, you probably knew that.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
knew side chick.
Pollyanna I was when it came to what's going on out here. But I don't know. It's just,
The funniest thing that I learned was Kevin Samuels did a show. I think it was like March 2020. This is my first. Remember, I just retired from the military. I used to watch him for the style stuff. He used to give advice on the different colognes, things of that nature. Popped up on my screen March 2020 around COVID time. I was working hard. Sat down and he had a stream. It was called Women with Degrees or something like that.
not
And I was like, what is,
PhD.
yeah, it's something like, and I was like, okay, let me listen to what's going on here. And this was the first time that I heard that women, I guess women think that their degrees matter with the way they look. And me and my homeboys, we were watching it, and I was like, wait, is he saying that women think that when you get a degree, you're more attractive? And we were sitting
Yes.
there like confused, like who thinks we thought Kevin was lying. We was like, wait, like who think what woman would think that getting a degree is gonna make you more attractive? And I
Yeah.
started listening a little bit more, and I was like, this is true. Like these women are
Yeah.
going out here thinking that if I get a PhD, that automatically makes me more attractive to men. And it wasn't like I was like, this woman is delusional. I was shocked. I was like, who thinks like this? Like what? It was funny to me. So yeah, so that's what
Well,
kind of got me
I
hooked.
just saw one, what's his name? Philip Scott show. It
Mhm.
popped up today, and he showed a woman who's 39. She has children, and she was just berating men
Oh,
because they were saying that she was past her prime.
oh wow.
And she's just like, I have money. And I mean, it eventually devolved into men are gay. They're broke. Do you need a job? You can't handle a woman on my level. Like,
Mhm,
I never paid attention because those aren't the women in my family. Those
mhm.
aren't the women that I befriend. Honestly, women who talk like that, I used to think of as mean girls and would
Right.
just avoid them. But now mean girls are, they're roaming in the wild, and they're
Mhm.
taking that same attitude to men. And it's rather than say, okay, let me work within my parameters. It's like, how dare not all men don't want me?
Yeah, that's
Like,
the funny
just
thing.
because I have kids and I'm
Yes,
almost half 100, are you telling me that I can't
that's
get the
funny.
same as a 25-year-old? I'm running circles around these young girls. They don't know how to throw it back and throw baby like me. Probably not,
Wow.
because it's been, stretched out for some of you know what I mean? Like, you've had longer, decades longer
Right.
to practice those skills. So there's no, but men don't see you the same. He will
We
sleep
yeah,
with you.
it's different. It's very different. It's just like a guy, and this is, I'm gonna credit my homeboy for this. We was having a conversation today. We still can't understand that if some women can't get the guys that they want, they blame all men for not wanting them. And he said
Mm.
it's just like me. If I want to date big booty women and no big booty women are allowing me to date them, then I'm gonna just blame all the big booty women out there for not dating
Right.
me. And I'm like, some women think like that. And guys, I want to be clear. Most of this stuff was fascinating to me, that people thought like this, because I come from a logical place. And I'm like, why would you? You would hear me say, why would you think like that? So many times when I watched Kevin Samuel's show, and it was just like amazing. That's Mona D. I love Mona D.
I know,
Yeah,
because I want to give you time too, because I think we missed some super chats,
yeah, we
and
were
a shout out
talking.
anybody that you want to, guys. We're going to get to it, but this conversation is getting too good. But go ahead. That's his main moderator. Shout out to Mona
Yes,
D, guys.
love Mona
Shout
D.
out to
She's
Mona,
amazing.
guys. Not
Man,
stretched out, Melanie.
yeah,
I mean, it goes back. I'm not talking about stretched out from childbirth. I'm talking about you've been throat babying. You've been practicing, let's say, because a lot of these women are starting very young. You started 15, 16, these women, and you're 40 now. Look how long you've been able to practice. So then you come in and say, well, I can throw it down better than that 25-year-old. Yes, you can, ma'am.
yeah,
I'm sure you can.
yeah. You
And
have a little
you
bit more
know that.
experience.
And
You
that's
should
why
have a little bit more experience.
right,
I mean,
they want that. They want that, but that does not mean that you are on the same level in terms of giving a relationship to,
right.
right?
And
And I
it's the
don't think
same
women
thing.
cannot see the difference unless he's like a true
We
F boy.
men we see, and I agree with you. It's so still it's fascinating to me that you could think like this. It's the same thing in the gym. Like, I'm an older guy, but
Mhm.
people are shocked that I'm old, 43 when they ask me,
Go
and they're
ahead,
like, "What?"
Paul. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
they're like, "What? You're 43?" But I have to somewhat compete with the young guys in the gym. Like, they may be able to lift more weight than me, so I have to be scientific about it. I need to make sure that I get a muscle to mind connection, hit the
Right,
proper, do it the correct way, stretch out, things like that. And
right.
we have to do these things to compete. And I just don't understand why you wouldn't think that you would have to compete with women who are younger than you. It's just human nature. You have to. And to argue that point, it doesn't seem it's no purpose to me to argue with somebody. And I know people like to do that. Okay, it's content, and that's why you won't see me on panel shows. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna argue with the woman about logic. Like, what?
Right, exactly. Like, I'm not trying to convince you to be and that is the thing. That's what, guys, that's what one thing Medium Man changed my mind about. Like, I find in our spaces, so many people are trying to, which I don't know if you guys just found this out. Like, even Andrew Tate has disavowed
I saw that.
red pill.
I saw
I
that.
don't know the details. I don't follow all of that. I don't get into Destiny said this and this. Like, y'all,
Mhm.
I leave that to the men. But I would say in the red pill space, it is very much, in terms of when you, it's like always trying to shame and like make women change.
Yeah, I can
Not
explain. I'm
all,
gonna let
not
you
all,
continue. I can explain. Yeah.
but like these, like, we're not going to change anybody's mind. We're not, like, and he actually woke me up to that. Like,
Mhm.
I gotta stop. Like, and it really takes a layer of frustration away, and you can just relax. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's especially men in these spaces, they try and hold strange women accountable. You can't do that, guys.
Mhm.
They don't respect you enough to be held accountable by you. And I see that
Mhm.
on
Mhm.
panel shows all the time. And the women will literally curse them out and tell them, "You cannot hold me accountable because I don't
Mhm.
respect you.
Oh, oh,
So why are
sorry.
you
Sorry,
go?"
something played in the background. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so it's just trying to hold strange women accountable. It makes no sense. And the same thing for guys. I mean, you sit there and try and hold a grown man accountable that you don't know. He's not in your family. He's not your brother. He's not your friend. And you get on the panel show and you're trying to tell him otherwise when he's staunch, he believes his opinion as to, be factual. Why, who am I to this guy or this woman? I'm nobody. So they don't care about my point. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to take it, they can rewatch the stream and be like, you know what? This guy was right. And that's what I rely on. I'm like, hey, if it holds some value to you, cool. If not, then just keep it moving. But I'm not going to argue with you, And I think if more people adopted that, I think, and that may be in the YouTube space, that may not be a good idea because it doesn't produce the salacious content, right? But
Right.
I'm not interested in just making content for content's sake. I want to move
Yes.
forward. I want to move forward. I want to get the facts out there, and hopefully we can level set the conversation, and then we can start talking solutions. Now, in regards to the red pill stuff, I tell guys I am very much red pill aware. I know about the red pill spaces, but that does not mean that you go into the dating market and you start reciting these things to the women that you're dating. No, you just need to be aware of a woman's true nature, and then you move forward. You don't have to go out there and be like, oh, you see, you just shit tested me. No, you don't have to do that. You know what it is. Just use the information and move forward. And I think that's where a lot of guys get messed up. They get so angry, that red pill rage, and that's understandable. But you take that time where you're in that red pill rage, you remove yourself from the dating market, get your stuff together, go to therapy. I am a huge advocate for therapy. Talk to your homeboys, and then you enter the dating market very aware of what you're dealing with. There is no need to get mad at women for being women. They are humans. They are people. They have feelings. They have emotions. That's all it is. And when you start getting out of that phase of treating women like, sugar and spice and everything nice, and you start to treat women like people, they're adults. They're going to mess up just like men are going to mess up. You have to be the man that's going to deal with that, right? And real quick, I saw that Kendra G interview where a woman was literally on a date with a man, and she called into Kendra G's show while she was on the date with the guy. Yes, and he stayed there until the end of the show. I was like, bro, you waited 20 minutes for this woman to look for a new man on her show, and then you get fed up after 20 minutes and like, oh, you should have told me and blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, you already lost.
What?
Like, why would you stay there? And I hope it's not a guy that's been listening to these spaces, because you should know better than that. And that's where I blame the guy. Why the hell would you stay there? It's crazy. So, yeah.
Guys, a lot of people are not realizing what I'm seeing more and more, because I do study the psychology side of things. I'm seeing so many, traits, dark triad traits in the dating market. It's especially in women. Like, women like to say men are narcissists and blah blah blah, but you're seeing so many women, with dark triad, been having the narcissism and having these like borderline personality disorder, which isn't quite dark triad and all of that, but it's you're seeing them being sociopathic. In fact, there's a woman on YouTube that is actually teaching women. She calls herself the anti, like the female Andrew Tate, but she's a diagnosed sociopath and narcissist, like full blown.
Okay.
And so she's actually funny. She's actually funny. I'm not going to lie. She is funny with this stuff and how she rebuts, but she does not have a conscience. And so, like, she will even gas up a guy. There was a guy that actually she was engaged to, and she just was doing it just because it was, it was the option she had. And then one day she just ghosted him, and she has stories about how she just would ghost him or use him and how she would get jobs. You guys should look her up. It's pretty wild how she is. But I'm seeing so much. I think the society rewards that in some way. I was talking to MTR actually yesterday, and we were talking about, I was like, I never knew women were getting bills paid and doing all these things when I was young. I was like, have you ever paid for a bill for a woman? He was like, no. He was like, the most would be an experience we're doing together, but I'm not paying bills. But you're seeing like this, men are just falling into paying bills, and women are just expecting it. And it's developing some really dark traits, I would say, in women that you really haven't seen in mass. Usually, and I'm gonna be honest, it was prostitutes who thought like this. But
Mhm.
now the standard woman thinks like a prostitute.
Right.
Have you ever paid a bill?
No, well, with my fiance, she is on my gas card, on my insurance. I pay for
Wait, not the gas card.
yes, this
Not
is
the gas card.
when before we sold her house, I paid for the lawn services because I wasn't there to cut it myself. Uh, so things like that, yeah. I mean, that's I get a cheaper rate on Progressive because I got the Emerald package. So yeah, it just makes sense to put her on there. So I pay for that. Yeah, it's fine.
You are so funny in the way you think. It's funny. You know what? I'm gonna read these super chats because we've
Go
had
ahead.
a few come in. I can't tell. Oh, I think this one is yours. I don't know if you want to read out this. Oh, you already said hi to.
Yeah, that's my guy.
This is Connor. Network says, "Hey Melanie, how are you? Hey Mediumman, what's good, brother?" Thank you. I said Connor. Conquer Network. Thank you guys. I'm tongue tied as usual. I'm trying to read through this. Guys, if I'm facing the opposite of him, just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
The camera's off.
This is cold brew coffee, guys. It's not liquor. I'm sorry. I don't want to get my teeth brown, so I got the straw. May look like Hennessy and Coke, but no, it's cold brew.
All right. Oh yeah. We talked about that.
Yeah.
We talked about that. Okay, Antonio St. Joseph, thank you. $10 super chat, and that is to you, Mediumman.
Oh wow, I appreciate that.
Antonio is over there on your channel, and what's up, Dr. Dukes? Dr. Ricardo Dukes, he sent in a super sticker for $10. Thank you so much. And Brian Wilson Coffee sent in a $2 super chat. What's up, Brian? And Christopher Williams, another $2 super chat for you.
Oh wow, appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
And this is another one for you.
My God.
Salty ball.
That's I always die. He always.
I was reading. You got me.
That's funny.
You got me. Okay, salty balls. Okay, I'll read it out. It says ritual of names. Is this chapter 2, verse 3? Book of Ritual of Names, chapter 2, verse 3. Thy name has been bestowed upon him as medium. However, his gifts are far-reaching at maximum from the mighty, voluminous halls and columns of the public square.
That's amazing.
You got a whole scroll.
No, I'm telling you, Saul, he is a wordsmith. Like that is amazing. That looks like a scripture from the Bible. Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah,
I was like, when you put that together, that was really good. The quiet. Woo, okay, Quiet Storm,
brother. Come on, man. He does so much for my page. I mean, yeah, because I told him while I'm at work, it's very tough for me to put the copy and paste stuff, for the ads and things of that nature.
Right.
He does that for me before the show even starts or the premiere. And I told him, man, I definitely owe him something. I need to give him a kickback. So this $100, bro. I'm very gracious. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
I'm glad to. Everyone's sending the super chats your way. Y'all didn't give me no love tonight, but that's all right. That's all right. My last one, I think I did pretty well, so I'm good with it. But thank you, Quiet Storm. My goodness, that is beautiful.
My guy,
Jay Fleming, my weekly donation to the private jet fund. Are you getting a private jet?
Yes. So me and Jay, we have this pact. Once I get bigger on this YouTube thing, I'm buying a private jet. I got to make sure that I have his seat readily available, so he's just kicking in his bread for when we get that private jet. So yeah, that's my guy.
Okay, is this a plan or is this a one-day fund?
Oh, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Okay. I'm gonna get to that point to where we can be able to fly wherever we want. Yeah,
you're gonna remember the people from the bottom.
That's my guy. He's
remember me.
I got you. I'll remember you. I definitely will.
In the cargo part, like I'm good.
He's a very what you consider a high value man in these spaces, in the Password Bro spaces. Very well established young brother. I love his channel. That was the first time that I collabed with somebody when he hit 1,000 subscribers. So I'm definitely one of his biggest supporters, if not his biggest supporter. So I appreciate anything that Jay donates. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Mhm.
Shout out to Mediumman. He's getting a lot of love. MK and MM. This is Nitty777 says great collaboration and show. MM might be the new king in the manosphere. He don't want that title. Y'all better not put that target on his back. I put a target on his back as well because I do think he doesn't believe it. But I do think he fills a role that Kevin left open. Not saying that he's him or I mean, he's completely different, guys. You get what I'm saying? But I do think there's been a void that a lot of people have been looking for. So if you hear more and more of that, don't shy away. Well, he's gonna shy away from it. I could just tell. But $20 super chat. Thank you. All right. And Reese Johnson, $5. Did you want to read these? Can you see them?
Yeah, I can read it.
Oh,
Reese
sorry,
Johnson with the $4.99 super chat. My man Medium, shout out, beautiful lies. I appreciate the live on STEs and such. Was going to get a second wife, but I think I'll stick to one now. So I did the whole live stream on STIs, STDs, just to make sure people were aware. Through my job, I collaborated with a bunch of different companies to help people find the correct places to get free STD testing. And if you also want to get any tests for free, I can give you that link as well. This is my field. I want to make sure that you guys are very healthy, and you will see more of these streams on health issues in our community, particularly in the Black community.
What's your channel that you started with the health thing? And actually, I've seen a video of you actually getting STD screening on his video. So guys, but you have a lifestyle channel. Tell them about that.
Yeah. So Survive for Me is basically geared towards fitness, nutrition, travel, and mental health. So those are things that I'm very passionate about. And I just and this actually comes from Melanie. She actually told me to separate because of the algorithm on YouTube, and it actually makes sense. So I created this channel so we can talk about those things. But I need to get to 500 subscribers so we can start going live and have open discussions about those topics. So.
I'm gonna I'm gonna try to pull up the channel as well. So we can drop the link. Or Mona, if you're still in here, or
Quiet Storm already on it.
Yeah, okay. You guys drop that. Let's get him. We need to get him hopefully to 1,000 so the whole thing is monetized. And so because this is what he does for a living, and he's living it out, guys. So we definitely want to support that because we need that. And in fact, I'm gonna show you guys something after I finish these super chats. This is your boy. I actually watched a couple of his videos.
Yes, that's my man.
With what's his name? Corey Holcomb.
Yes,
he did a couple things, and he did a reaction to Kendra G as well. But
man, I always shout out Theo with the Do Better podcast. Has the best soundboard in the business. I kid you not. I sometimes, because he streams every Monday through Friday at around my time, 7:30 p.m. Houston time. So while I'm at work, I'll have one earphone with Theo, and then I'm listening to our morning meetings, and I'll just die laughing and crack up, and they'll be like, "What you laughing at, man?" I'm like, Theo just said something crazy.
Wait, side note. What was it? It was like you said something like I was texting you or something, and you were trying to leave. You were texting talking about I'm trying to look busy doing this meeting.
Yes,
because we had to talk about the stream and all this stuff, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm just trying to look busy." So
I got that from George off Seinfeld. He said when you look busy or agitated, then people leave you alone. So while I was on the stream, I'm sitting there trying to act like I'm doing something serious, but yeah. But Theo, he says, I'll read it. It says, Mediumman, you blowing up. Always good to see good people make it happen. Salute to the vets. Absolutely, brother. Theo was an Air Force veteran. So that's why we just immediately became brothers. It's always like that with our military folks. I love Theo's channel. He knows I'm one of his biggest supporters, always donating to the fund. That's my guy. If you guys want to have some good times in the morning, please go to Theo's channel and watch Theo the Do Better podcast. It's amazing. Appreciate that, brother.
No, wait, does he stream at 7:30 at night or in the morning?
In the morning.
Okay, because you said at night. So guys, it's 7:30 in the morning. You can watch Theo actually stream. You see his channel, the Do Better podcast. All right, so next
so I'll say it. I got it. Salty balls.
He probably wants the clip. Salty balls.
There you no, go ahead and say it so he can use it for his channel.
Shout out to Salty Balls.
I got you, brother. There you go. As my man, $5 super chat. Got to be more careful Care balls got your ass. That dude is hilarious, man.
It got me. You got me with that one. All right, we're gonna get through these. Eugene, what's up, Eugene? It says Melanie, that Kendra G clip Medium was referring to. I have put that link in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Eugene. Eugene is on it. Thank you so much. This is shout out to you,
Oh,
Medium.
okay. Man,
I
wish
don't know how to KB spin the globe. I thought I was gonna say
Oh, that's
spin the
cool.
block.
Spin the block. Hey, we know what that is. $20 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Oh wait, hold on. Here he is again.
Brother?
Whoa! Okay, no, I got to give him a full one now.
Yes
Okay?
to you. Okay, go ahead.
Shout out to Salty Balls. There you go.
I'll go ahead and read it
and really take it left, but go ahead.
He definitely challenges my public speaking. So I'm gonna try and get through this right with the $100 super chat. Appreciate that, brother. He said, "Scroll of Ethers 2-4 from the treasure chest rain down from the ethers as this matches thine quiet storm, thine Lizzo's worth of coin for the
the flying iron chariot. Get your general AV private license."
What?
This is like some high level poetry.
Oh man,
allegory.
The Lizzo.
Lizzo took me out. Yeah. Thine Lizzo's in the small S. Everything else is big, and then the S is small.
Go ahead. Brother, boy, you gonna get me in trouble. let me finish it up. Look. Thine Lizzo's worth of coin for the fun for the flying iron chariot. Get your general AV private pilot's license, jet endorsements. Actually, I have been looking into that because I follow Little Duval. He always tells people to get your pilot license. He owns, I think, 2 small planes. So yes, I have been looking into that. Maybe it will be my New Year's resolution moving forward. Right. So I appreciate that, brother.
How do you have time?
Yeah, I got to figure something.
He did not read out everything he's decorated with. This is just, I'm a college dropout, okay? So I am a slacker, but he's like, I have to lay down and rest after but this is what men were designed to work and do all of this stuff and take on. Like, I wish somebody
honestly, it's the Air Force. You know, they teach excellence in all you do, and you have to continuous process improvement. It just teaches you not to be stagnant. You know, and that's actually that's looked at as favorably on the dating market with women, right? Yeah. So that's another thing, guys. If you can stay busy, you can either stay busy for real, or you can use it as an excuse so you can go mess with other women. Well, now I'm just playing.
Well, you're not playing. Keep it real. Like, this is how this is what it is, guys. Yeah. Listen, if a guy is busy, I know executives in certain industries. Like, they are busy. Mm-hmm. They don't have time to talk, all these other things. Most women don't know how to deal with a man like that because it's challenging. But either he's really busy or he's just entertaining other women, just like you. Just like you. Why do women act like only men play around? Why do we act like that?
I know the truth. Once you know the truth about how women move, and like I said, you listen to women, you will learn a lot. And that's where a lot of guys fail. Y'all don't listen to what they be saying. I got into these spaces listening to women first because I wanted to hear what they were saying, right? And so, you know, with men, you know, if you stay busy, that's looked at as, you know, a good thing on the dating market because you're not sweating her. What you doing? Where you at? You know, who you with? Like, no, you don't need to do all that. So
exactly. Well, shout out for the $100 super chat, and Bane Bear, thank you for the dollar super chat. And we get another super chat over here for $20 for KB. Spin the globe. Says great work. AKA, I'm gonna call you Spin the Block.
Yeah, I like it. Man, y'all are very gracious today, man. I appreciate it. Would have never thought, you know, days would be like this, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I want to show you guys something really quickly while we're doing this. I mean, before we get to the next thing, because we were talking about, and this relates to what you were referring to as far as fitness. I wanted to show you guys this really quickly. And I've done a video of another woman similar to this woman I'm going to be showing you guys. But I think a lot of people don't realize that there are people, like, we just kind of settle in and just decide, well, I'm this age, and so it is what it is. I don't need to work out, or, you know, we use these excuses, right? Oh, wow.
Isn't she like 77 years old?
She's 77 and is fine. Okay, if she didn't have the gray hair, look at her face. She's killing me. She's killing you, sis. Killing us at 77. This woman is 36 years older than 36 years older than me. And I am look at her. Okay.
That's amazing.
I'm just gonna play a little bit of this because I don't think people realize that fitness to me is the fountain of youth. Hopefully this plays. You guys let me know if the audio plays really quickly.
It's me, your girl, Miss Bo Tally Williams.
Now I've stayed dedicated, faithful, committed, and disciplined.
You're able to accomplish anything you set your mind to.
Bo Tally is the astonishing wife of WNBA professional coach Fred Williams. Not only is she a devoted mother to 5 children and a radiant grandmother at the age of 77, but she also possesses an uncanny ability to defy time itself. One glance at Bo strolling down the street, and you'd swear you're looking at a woman in her 20s, her youthful appearance and vibrant energy shining through.
You, the mom with the children, the mom that works, the mom that can't get out the house, the mom that don't like to go to the gym, the mom that stays home and work like me. I am you guys. So I do little stay-at-home mom tips for those moms who are trying to stay fit, most importantly, healthy and sexy, if that's what you're trying to do.
77?
I personally don't have
what is this?
to the gym, and I personally don't like to go to the gym because I want to work out. I don't want to be harassed. At the end of the day, you ladies know what I'm talking about.
Countless people have been awestruck, wondering.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna go back.
And keep the body
like
that picture right there. That's amazing.
Look at her skin. It's the tone in her skin too. At 77, I want y'all to think about your grandma real quick. Okay, I want you to think about a 77-year-old woman, right? And just look at
man.
70. And so you don't are you competing with her? No, I'm not. I'm not on any level. I'm not competing with her. And so we resign ourselves as women and think because some guys give you thirsty comments and guys will still talk to you, but are you really competing? Are you reaching your potential, your what I call your genetic potential? I know I'm not there, but I want to be this at this. I mean, this is insane.
That's amazing. It's
70, she's almost 80.
That's I'm in shock, and I've been in the fitness industry for about 20 years now, and yeah, she looks amazing.
I need somebody to say okay. I have a question for you. Okay, now clearly she's 77, right? But we'll get to the next thing. But see, now she's married. She's not in these streets. She's not looking for none of that. But best believe if she went out here looking like this at 77, first of all, most guys would think she was in her 30s, maybe 40s. And they will sleep with her. But the vast majority, even still, now she did it right because she did it young and she got her husband.
Right. Look
how good she looks. Do you look as good as this 77-year-old? Right. But even her will get guys that will sleep with her and nothing more. So, and you're not even on her level. Like she is beautiful, extremely rare beauty. Her skin is perfection and her body is insane. And you think you're going to get better results you are, being out of shape, not really working on yourself, and she has a bubbly personality. She's smiling. She's happy. She's family oriented. Clearly. Are you competing with this 77-year-old? What do you think about this?
So she looks amazing. And I want to speak to the Black women real quick. You guys don't take advantage of your genetic predisposed genes that like you should. And I'm gonna just be completely honest. We are blessed with some of the best genetics. And when I tell you, when a Black woman walks into the gym who is in shape is serious, she is a showstopper. I go to a predominantly white gym, right? But there are particular, some Black women that work out at this gym and they are very serious about working out. they stop the gym. No matter how many other races of women look good, when a black woman takes fitness serious, it's something different. And I try and explain that to our women so much, because if you guys just take it serious, you will have no idea how you can actually look. They have fitness influencers that I can tell who are natural and do it the right way, and they are at their genetic peak, and just basically because they're black women, right? So I would love to walk into the gym one day and see a gym full of black women that are taking it serious. And I know people, we know about the obesity rates and things of that nature. And I'm not approaching those numbers from you guys are fat, obese. No, I'm telling you, you need to see what you could look like if you went to the gym. Say, look at that woman. That's amazing, right? And she's doing this at home. What does she say? She does home workouts?
Yeah.
Like, there's no excuse.
She's almost 80 years old. And like this is a video. Look at her skin in the video. This is like a bad angle. I'm sure she's doing she's probably on Facebook. This is 70. Can you guys see? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me show you this. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Her skin and what she looks like. So this isn't like a knock on anyone else. Actually, in my opinion, she looked worse when she was younger. She's like in better shape now. Obviously, she's doing her makeup and hair a little better, but she looks the same, but better. Anyway, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all, I need everyone to just put that anointing on me right now. I need Bo Tally, everything she's giving that's who you should be following, not Bernice Burgos.
Yeah,
the woman. This woman is a wife, a mother, and grandmother, and still with her husband.
The women that do it the right way, of course, Bernice Burgos is a little bit enhanced. She has some work done, but she does work out, but it's still enhanced.
But it's
right?
more of like the lifestyle that I talk about in the attitude as well. Anyway. All right, so we beat a dead horse. What's another kind of win and loss that you wanted to talk about?
I want to talk to the guys. Sometimes y'all miss the little things, that can kind of hook a woman. And I'm gonna give you a small piece of game while we on this stream or whatever. Women, you guys may miss this, but women let's say you're chilling at the house and you want to order DoorDash. Something simple as you giving her your phone to pick the restaurant on your phone is a good sign. Women like that because you're trusting her with your phone and you're telling her, hey, get what you want. It's kind of like, hey, spend what you want, right? So the woman is on your phone. What do you like? Do you want this? Oh, this looks good. What do you think about that? So you trust her to not see anything that she, doesn't want to see. And you're also allowing her to pick the food that you're going to pay for. Those are simple things that guys can do to earn that somewhat trust from a woman. And that looks good because you're footing the bill, of course. And then also she has your phone in your hand, which is a coveted thing these days. Nobody wants to give the other person their phone. But if you give her a phone, like, here, pick what you want to eat, that looks good, right? So just do the small things first, and they can gain favor later on because she'll remember that. And most women don't want to go through your phone, guys. Most women. And that, I'm be completely honest, right? That's how I see it. I've never had a woman go through my phone because I'm trusting her with it. Like, here, what are you going? But if she do see something, then that's her problem. So it's,
Wait, hold on. Rich Turner says she's competing. Darn it. That's what I'll say. Shout out to Rich Turner on here. And EG Money, $5 super sticker. Thank you, boo.
Appreciate that, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, I would say, for me, my personal philosophy, and Kevin actually spoke on this, like, when I was married, this happened, whoever I'm with, he has and I'm not saying men have to do this. I'm saying for me as a woman, because again, I have to outcompete. I have negatives in my column that are just life and I can do nothing about them. I have children from my previous marriage and I'm 41. And so a man has the passcode to my phone. He can go in my DMs, has the passwords to everything. I'm not hiding anything to add an extra layer of security to that man. I don't don't even need to go through his. Now that may sound like, oh, that's stupid. He's probably playing you. He's this, that, and the other. Listen, I'll pick up on other things. And, all I can do is be who I am and show up genuine and authentic to who I am, and not put my standards on other people, but go above and beyond, because in this day and age, men are very skeptical.
Right.
Men are not trying to wife you up. If if you already have negatives, which most grown women do, okay, unless you're a 22-year-old virgin. But even then, you still, I've talked to some who wanted to do OnlyFans. Your mind can be gone. But if you have negatives, you have to go above and beyond and think, what would make a man feel secure? What would make a man feel good in a relationship? And I'm talking about a relationship. I'm not talking about casual dating, and if it's something that he wants. But it's, a lot of women hide their phone or have extra things going on. So that's just my side note from the female side of things. Not every man wants that, but just knowing he has access to it is a layer that another woman may not be doing.
Right. And that goes to the point of never letting the other person get to why, right? You're making sure that he's secure and understands that you have access to this if you want it. But most guys, if you're secure in yourself, I mean, we don't have time to be going through a woman's phone. I personally don't. And I've always told guys this: if it doesn't matter how many times you check in with a woman, you're calling her, you're telling her to FaceTime, where you at, what you're doing. 24 hours in a day, if a woman wants to cheat, she'll find a 25th hour. And it's that simple. So you guys sitting there worrying about what your woman is doing when she's not in your presence, there's literally nothing you can do. That is not your problem, right? So if something happens, then hey, you move on, right? You sulk, you cry, therapy, you do what you need to do, and you move on. It's nothing you can do by sitting there hounding a woman in regards to what she's doing. And granted, I may be a little bit different. I've had commitment issues, which I went to therapy for, right? But I used to be that guy where hey, what you doing? Where you at? And all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If somebody is a bad person in relationships, then they're just going to be a bad person. You did your part. As long as you showed up and you tried to do your best, that's all you can do, right? But sitting there getting mad if you catch her with something, it's up to you at that point. If you catch her doing something, what are you going to do about it? You don't give women ultimatums, you give them choices. Hey, you can either continue doing this, we won't be together, or you can fix it and we can stay together. If she don't fix it, then what are you going to do? Are you going to compromise or are you going to leave? Are you man enough and ready to leave? And most men hate leaving women because they don't want to go back on the dating market and do all this shit over again. Excuse my language, but that's what happens. You get comfortable. I got to go back out there, so I'll just deal with a woman disrespecting me in public. No, you don't do that. You grown men. Figure it out, bro. It's very simple. So
exactly. And hold on one second. Dennis Sperling just hit me up. There is somebody, I think, on your side of the live stream that's pretending to be Dennis.
Oh, wow.
Dennis Sperling is not in the chat. I just got a text. Shout out to you, Jess, as well, his fiance. Jess, I see it, girl.
Is that him?
It's not Dennis. That is not Dennis. So if you could block that person, they're faking like a Dennis.
It's the one that says is a lie.
No, it says Dennis Sperling, his name.
I'm reading. I want to make sure. So Dennis hasn't commented.
That is not Dennis. Dennis supports Mediumman, but they just let me know, him, his fiance let me know that is not the Blizzard King. Okay, that shout out to Dennis. I always tell people he went to school with my sister. So they go way back, and shout out to them because they are having a great trip right now. I'm not saying where y'all are or nothing, but shout out to them. I love Dennis. I love his fiance. I love their dynamic, and Jess is such a breath of fresh air.
Hold on. I'm getting messages from, hold on. Somebody said, I see you flashing that watch. What is that? Should I show my watch?
Flex on a flex.
No, I don't. Sure, man.
No, look, I don't have a watch, so it's not me.
There you go. Wait, let me see. See that?
Wait, he got it matching the tie. Yeah, where's the jacket? How come we don't get the jacket?
Yeah, so I do have the jacket that matches or whatever. But yeah, this is a Boulevard Marine Star. So this is very hard to find, man. I'm sending you the information. It was the funny thing is somebody, I think this is the same guy that asked me a while back about my watch winder. I got you, brother. A matter of fact, I just put a video together or something and hook you up.
Little Boss says, "Good evening, Mel and Medium Man. I love this collab. I like to know how Medium Man decided that his fiance was the one."
Oh, well, that's pretty easy. She was better than my alone time. That's simple.
Okay, ladies need to find this out because you were taken. But some of us ladies want to know if you got friends and stuff, and we want to do what we need to do. So tell us,
I have a great
what happened.
I have a great circle of men of value. Let's just say that much. Guys that I've been to the military with. But in regards to my fiance, I am a introvert by trade. The military got me out of that. And in certain ways, I've already talked about being a Sigma male, being away from the pack. So what I needed to find a woman that was better than my alone time, because most of the time when I used to date women, I would get tired of them at a specific point. But that came down to those women not having hobbies, for one, right? So if I'm doing something in the name of my house, they're expecting me to entertain them, and they can't entertain themselves. So my fiance, she crochets a lot. I got hats, knits, and stuff that I rarely wear because she does that while I'm sitting there either watching the Lakers game. And there's other things that we can do together, and she doesn't bother me when I need my space, and it was honestly that simple. I knew what I wanted when it was time for me to settle down. I wanted to make sure that I got all of that out of my system. Maybe, may still be something in there, but I got to repent. But, but that's all, guys. I mean, that thirst never goes away.
It is. Getting married or having a relationship does not stop a man from having eyes or having sexual needs, and people have different arrangements of how they want to do things. So I don't tell people how to do things, but you would say the main thing for you, and women, you need to understand, if you want to get chosen, if you want to stand out from other women, and I think most men feel this way. Like, I don't think this is particular to you. What would you say? You said, even though you guys were together, it wasn't her, like, feeling like you have to entertain her or talk to her, or
right,
like she's doing her own. You guys can be in the same space. Do you mean that, in doing your own thing? Or she wasn't in your space a whole lot, like she gave you a lot of room and you guys came together at certain times?
That's pretty much it. I mean, we are very affectionate. Like, if we're in public, she sits on my lap. It is just little things like that. We are a very affectionate couple, but it's just certain things that you kind of need your space sometimes. And that's, something that I had never experienced in other relationships, right? So when I got with her, and I think that has a lot to do with her being a professional woman. My dynamic, and I've talked about this before, is very different. We're not having any more kids, guys. So we decided to get together because we like each other. We love each other, right? So we're just going to be two people that are enjoying each other's company for the rest of our lives. I'm not looking to have more children. She doesn't want to have children. She has enough nieces and nephews that she can tend to. And I have a 19-year-old daughter. So our dynamic is different. She is a professional woman. She doesn't have a job. She has a career, right? There's a difference. She's been working at her large chain bank for almost 14 years now. So it'll be stupid of me to be like, hey, now that we're together, you quit your job and I'm going to take care of you and you stay at home and take care of the house. We don't have that dynamic because we are both professionals and doing our career thing. She's going to retire from her job. Once she does that, then we can go ahead and sail off into the seas of, the south of France or something like that. But other than that, we are not a traditional couple. That's why I never get involved in these traditional relationship discussions, because that is not how my relationship is ran, right? Some people may call her a boss woman, but she is very feminine. She is a Jamaican woman. She knows how to cook, which caught me.
Because you cook. Because this is a man who cooks. They don't know that. You and El Guapo and Beautiful Lies.
Yes.
Like, I'm like,
yes.
What? I'm like,
she cooks very. She cooks better than me, and I love Jamaican food. If my friend was on here, my friend Jamal, who I went to when I was in Germany, I stayed at his house. When he came over, she cooked us food. She served it. She waited until we tasted it. She made sure that you need anything, you need salt. Like, no, this is perfect. You need anything to drink? And then she sat down and she ate her food. I returned the favor by taking care of her because she takes care of me first. She's not entitled, right? And anything that she wants, she can afford it. Trust me, guys. She's been making way more money than me for a while now. I just kind of caught her, right? So it wasn't even that. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
so
hold on. Pause. So according to Ebony K. Williams, she dated down because she made more money than you when you guys got together.
Because I was working.
She's younger than you. How much
younger than
younger?
me? She's 33 years old. She's 33 years old.
She made more money than him. I think one part because you were in the military. I don't know. Okay. And so now he's in the private sector. Private contract. I don't know if you're in a contract or hired, but the private. So now you're catching up to where she is. But guys, this is a career woman, okay? But a woman who didn't want children. But she's not a boss babe. It was a personal choice of what she wants in life, what her goals are, and she decided she didn't want children. And she met a man, but she didn't need to be masculine. She still cooks and caters to him and gives him what he needs, and she's feminine. Well, this is going to blow people's minds. He didn't know the two could exist.
There's no need for her to be masculine because I already got that covered, right? And like I said, I already talked about this before. I did have to check her when we first dated. Remember when we was at the movie theater and she tried to, go off on me about going to get something to eat without her, and I sat there right in the middle of the street. I held her hands and I told her,
you got to give us the whole thing.
So I'll give you the whole story. This is the first time I'm telling the story over here. So basically when we first started dating, we had a date set to go to the movies at a specific time. She got a call from her mother saying that, hey, I need you to help me out with this real quick. Her mother lived right around the corner. She's like, hey, I got to go check on my mother real quick. I'll be right back to my house and then you can come pick me up. I was like, all right, cool. I went to a little restaurant right around the corner from her house. I ate food, right? And I waited for her about 30 minutes. And she said, all right, I'm back at home. So went and go pick her up. And she was like, hey, how did you get to my house so fast? And I told her I went to go grab something to eat. And her mood immediately changed, right? And I saw it. I didn't say anything while we were driving to the movie theater. We got out and she did the whole, I just think it's funny that, all that stuff or whatever. And she was like, I was like, what's wrong? And she told me, you went to go get something to eat without me. And I was like, what does this mean? Yeah. I was like,
what does it mean? I'm not going to hold you. I stay accountable. I know not to do that now, but this is almost like he's not even thinking of me.
Yes.
Like, how did you go eat? I'm like probably hungry. He doesn't even care. Like, that's how I would interpret, but go ahead.
And then that's what I was like, man, I was like, yeah. And so she was like, yeah, I just find it funny that you didn't wait for me to eat. And I was like, what are you talking? And she got loud. She raised her voice when we were walking to the movie theater in the middle of the street in public. And I stopped her right there. I said, hold on 1 second. I grabbed both her hands. I looked her dead in the eye. I said, look, this is a movie theater where they serve food while you watch the movie. I knew that. I am going to feed you. Don't worry about that. I got you covered, right? And I told her that, and I was like, cool. And she said, cool. I kissed her on the forehead. I grabbed her hand, and we walked into the movie.
Wait, stop. Don't you say that. Do not. Okay, I'm gonna give brothers a cheat code. The kiss on the forehead after a gentle but stern talking to. Let me just tell you. The kiss on the forehead. Okay, go. I'm just telling you now. That is, do it, and you find out how that works. But go ahead.
It absolutely works, and I think I got that from a movie a while back somewhere. But anyway, we went to the movies. I let her order the food. She got her food. It was about 30 minutes into the movie. She leaned over and she kissed me on the cheek. She said, I apologize. I was just hungry. And I was like, cool, it's no problem. And from there, that point forward, there was no issues. Not to say that we don't have our small arguments. I'm not a unicorn. Yes, we have our little issues here and there, but it's nothing that we can't take care of right then and there. You have to, I've been to therapy. I know how to conflict resolve certain things to this point. Because back in the day, if something went wrong, you can go. I'll find another woman immediately. But I have things in place where I can figure out what's the best way to approach this. Like we have our things where if we need to take time out, if we have some disagreement, We take an hour away from each other. The house is big enough to where she can go upstairs. I can go in my room. We relax, and then we come back and we resolve the issue after that hour. We never go to bed angry at each other. We always resolve things at the point. We don't bring up old things, and we don't insult each other when we're having a disagreement. That's where a lot of people go wrong, because that's how you felt all along. If you dating a fat guy and you call him a fat piece of S, you know what I'm saying, in the argument, and you say, I didn't mean that. He's like, well, F you. Like, you know, so yes, you did, you know? So yeah, so it's just things that you have to put in place just to make sure your relationship is open. The communication lines are always open. You can talk to each other about certain things. I don't give her everything. And that's where a lot of people mess up. Women always ask guys to be emotionally intelligent or emotionally available. A man can be emotionally available. That doesn't mean he's going to share everything with you. It's just the things that he wants to share with you. So just because you're not getting the inside scoop on his day-to-day activities, that doesn't mean that he's not emotionally intelligent. Look up the definition. It's nothing in there that says that a man is obligated to tell his life story to a woman, right? And I tell men to stay away from that, especially if you're dating a woman, because you've seen too many examples on social media where women use that against men, right? You tell her your intimate secrets. Next thing you know, let's say you cheat. Now she feels obligated, or she can go on social media and tell everybody about your issues. And now you're the laughing stock of social media.
You did a video. What's her name? One woman had she told, once the marriage broke up, she told how she bought the engagement ring or something like that. And I want to be mindful of your time. You normally end at 9:00 your time, right?
No, I can go 3 hours. You know, I've set that time.
Oh, he up tonight. Tell your fiance
the Lakers are not playing. So
okay, they about the fiance. It's the Lakers. Yeah, I forgot about that. No, because what he's saying is correct. And I'm just seeing it from a female lens. You know, first of all, it is very important. Like I will speak for myself and from what I hear from women and men that I know in the research I've done. You may be different, but what I know is that a woman, if she feels as though, like, let's say in an interaction you did with your fiance and she was able to get away with that, you would then be in the deficit. The rest of the relationship trying to please her, and she would feel like she can have that attitude and get her way. Right. And that's why it's important early on for a man to check a woman. I'm gonna tell you what, I love a good checking, not nasty or disrespectful, but most women, there's even TikToks with this, with the man that checks a woman, and the woman's like, okay, daddy, like, because there's a way to check a woman that really helps harness her being emotionally out of control. And I think that's when women talk about a man being a rock and being able to demonstrate those qualities, not letting her do whatever to you, but you check it like, this is not going to work. Like, let me explain this and do that. But I'm telling you, we will just not see you the same. We will not respect you the same. I'm just being honest. I do not respect men the same that let me get away with BS like that.
I'm glad you're saying it coming from a woman. Men need to hear these things. And at the time, you know, I didn't know anything about this whole checking thing. I just knew that I didn't like what she was doing. Right. And I also read a lot of Ryan Holiday books, you know, Ego is the Enemy, you know, all that type of stuff. So that would definitely help you guys out with being stoic or a rock, as you say. Read his books. They can definitely help you with controlling your emotions, especially as a man that is very imperative. Right. And I also have to credit the military for that. Again, you know, they help you deal with certain things, and you have to be stoic and you have to deal with it and move forward. You adapt and overcome. And I just get so upset when I see guys lose their cool on social media, you know, and it's embarrassing for one, especially if it's a black man. And I'm like, man, you need to go back to the drawing board, go to therapy, read some more books, figure out how to control your emotions, because this does not look good, right? Don't put yourself in situations where you know you're going to be triggered. And that's why I told you about those panel shows. I've had multiple requests from people telling me to come on panel shows, and I'm like, what? So I can sit there and argue with women and trigger me? And because I'm a little bit different than most guys. I don't argue with women. I'm going to just ask you where your husband is. I'm going to ask you where your boyfriend is. I'm going to ask you where your dad is. Let me speak to him. I'm not speaking to you. Who cares about you to let you come out into this dating market to talk to a grown man like that? I want to talk to your husband, your boyfriend, your brother. Those are the men that care about you. And I'm going to tell them how you acted on social media, and me and him going to have a problem if we can't settle it like gentlemen. That's just basically how I move, right? So I want men to take that approach with women. Don't argue with women on social media. Ask her where her husband is, right? You talk to him, not her, right? Very simple. So
I'm sorry. You know I'm animated, so I do the most over here. But that like any ladies who will watch this, any ladies in here, like a man that I hear a little bit of echo. Is that
it's good on mine.
You guys hear it? Okay. But a man checking you like that, it automatically, guys, it's very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
It's very attractive. And I find the same thing, like I don't, the arguing and things. And if a man, and I've had guys do that with me, get into their feminine, and guys will say, well, Melanie acted masculine. I was like, I had to, because they were being feminine and arguing and even threatening or trolling me. And I'm like, who raised you? Like, why are you as a man just, wanting to stir drama or gossip or argue with a woman? Because that's not how I was raised. Like I said, I came from a military household.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I see that, I have to get into if a woman is arguing with you and doing all of that, she's had to, what I want to say, it's masculine to argue. I don't think it's not masculine to argue.
Mm-hmm.
It's a female, a woman's version of masculinity, of arguing. It's like, we don't know how to truly be masculine, so we try to
emulate. Yeah,
we knuck up. But it's not how men really do it, okay? Because the way we talk crazy to men, it would be, they'd be outside throwing. Okay?
I'm glad Kevin Samuels mentioned that point. There's always a low-level threat of violence amongst men, and typically most men, this is not housewives. We don't fight every day, right? Men will try and quell a situation as best possible, and that's why I say that I would rather go to the husband than sit there and look like a dummy on social media arguing with the woman who I cannot deal with physically. I can deal with her husband physically if we can't resolve this issue. And why you let your woman come on social media and talk to grown men like this, that's your problem. I never blame the woman. When I see women wilding out on social media, I always blame the man, because it's his problem. It's his, and this is not mine. This is something that I learned from Patrice O'Neal, right?
Shout out to Patrice. I just did a video of him today.
He described a situation where one of the co-hosts described a situation where they were in a movie theater and people were being loud behind them, right? Mm-hmm. And the woman was being loud, talking all loud. And the guy's girlfriend said, could you just shut the F up, to the girl that was talking loud, right? And at that point, you don't blame the woman, you blame the man who allows her to talk like that in public. So you don't go to her, you go to him. Did you hear what your woman just said to me? You know what I'm saying? We need to resolve this situation right now. It's that simple, because you won't get anywhere arguing with the woman on social media, especially if they don't respect you. None of these women respect you on these panels. They don't know you. So how are you trying to hold a grown woman who's already irate accountable? Now, if she says something out of pocket, which is one of the worst things that you can say to a man, is SMD, suck my whatever, right? Or you call a man a B. A woman calling a man a B. That's a bad thing. And I've seen that happen on panel shows. And these men will go back and forth with that woman, calling her out of their name. No, I'm gonna go straight to your inbox. Tell your husband to talk to me. Tell your boyfriend to talk to me. Tell your brother, your uncle to talk to me. Because I tell guys all the time, every man can't fight, but every man is capable of violence, and most men need to understand that, right? So there's always going to be a low-level threat of violence there, especially if you got your woman representing you out there in the public space and she's talking like that. That's why I always call cap on these women who get on here and are irate and talking this foolery to grown men. I don't think they really have men at home, because no respectable man would allow their woman to come on a social media platform and talk that way to a grown man unless you got your balls removed. It's that simple, right? So men, y'all need to understand that if your woman is out of pocket, there's going to be a guy like me that's going to come to you. Now you have to deal with me. And I'm not saying that I'm some Hulk guy and I'm just the biggest fighter on Mike Tyson 2.0, but you're gonna have to deal with me. That's simple, right? I'm not alone in this. It's a lot of military guys that think the same way. Y'all made, and I talked about this before. These MMA guys, they may look unassuming, they may look wiry, they may look small, but I tell you what, you will wake up in the hospital, a couple hours later asking what happened because you tried the wrong dude who's been training in master combatives for years because you thought he was small and now you don't remember where you at, right? So be mindful. Check your woman before y'all get out in these public streets because she will get you into a world of pain if you are not careful. That's your job, right? Listen, just giving you a piece of advice. That's simple.
This is so good. I because I actually have, I don't know if you guys know, being from Maryland, boxing is huge in Maryland, if you don't know, in the DMV. Yes. So I have cousins, some of you guys seen the pictures, and I have family and friends. I grew up knowing Sugar Ray Leonard, like all those type of things. And these guys are not huge when you meet them. But come at me, and you're gonna quickly find out what is going to be. But that's when people ask me what was I looking for from a man, this is a level of protection. A lot of times I think a man protects a woman from herself in terms of where we will react with emotions and get out of pocket, or deal with a man in a certain way and not understanding how men think and how disrespectful it is. And I raise my hand with that. If I get emotionally charged, my dad checks me. It's why I've tried to dial back on some of the things when people try to troll me. And he's checked me, and I got mad at my dad. And you guys, if you watch the live stream, I've talked about this before. But to this day, he's getting chemo, but he's not. He's done with chemo and all of that. But even from getting chemo, he be like, "I saw your live stream." Okay. And he doesn't care, and I actually still get upset. And I don't think most women have experience. I don't feel like the women who are doing that for the most part either have a man or any men in their life that will do that. That's or the man they're with just is just a cuck and lets them do whatever they want. And so I think it's hard when they talk about protection. A lot of women, they talk about they want men to protect them. First of all, only your man should be protecting you or your family members. But outside of that, even if a man tries to protect a woman, a lot of women will buck against what he's trying to do. Well, I'm grown. I can say what I want and do what I want. Or they don't want his input. They don't want his protection. And we don't understand what masculine protection looks like. And it is, in my opinion, you don't have to agree with this, the man is the head of a relationship. He's the one that initiates the relationship. We initiate sex. He initiates a relationship. So with him being the head of it and getting a man to commit to you, that's his leadership deciding to do that. You have to fall under what it is how he leads. But so many women want to compete with a man and be just like him and don't want, they claim they want protection, but they don't. They wouldn't listen to that. They get into an argument with you about, well, I could do it myself. Or if you don't do it the way they want, they will get upset.
And I don't want to take credit for this, but I've seen this phrase thrown around in these spaces. You can't protect what you can't correct. Right. So when women ask for protection, you also have to simultaneously ask yourself, is this man able to correct me before I get to the protection? Because correcting and protecting go hand in hand. If I tell you we shouldn't walk down this alleyway because I think it's unsafe, and you say, oh man, I've been down this alleyway so many times, we can go ahead and do it, and you're not listening to him, then he can't correct you. But you're asking him to protect you if you go down this alleyway and something jump off, right? And that's where our women in particular get it messed up. We always hear women talking about black men don't protect black women, but can black men correct you? No. So,
you want protection? So, you must receive correction.
You have to.
That's it. That right there is so true, because a lot of times masculine protection is not just you do what you want, be a buck wild hyena, and then he's supposed to just wrangle.
He's supposed to be an attack dog.
No, I need a man who can deal with me.
No.
I need to know a man who knows how to deal. He doesn't have a man that brings a certain level of protection. He doesn't have energy for this.
No.
You're not that special. I'm not that special. So I have to meter my mouth, meter my tone. And some women feel like it's oppressive. But when it comes down to it, the man is the one that is providing that leadership and protection that you want so much. So you have a role to play. A lot of times he don't feel like getting into something because you decided to run your mouth or you decided to get into something, but he knows that's his role. But we don't want to play our roles. But anyway,
But that's a good point. And I've said this before. And I hate to keep bringing it in our community, but our women in our community, they look at a black man protecting them as black men being attack dogs, like sick of them, right?
Yes.
It's like, hey, I just started this fire with this man. I need you to go attack him on my behalf. And that's wrong, right? So when they say protection, they're like, hey, I have this man here. So no matter what I say to this grown man who's in this gas station that looked at me funny, my man is going to fight him on my behalf. And we've seen this go bad so many different times where a guy comes to a woman's aid when she just started some type of ruckus and he ends up dead, right? And that's where we have to be selective with who we decide to partner with, because some guys will fall into that trap and they will end up, being buried 6 feet deep. And we got to stop that as black men, right?
And I would say, see, and even you doing that, you want protection, but you aren't protecting him.
You're not protecting
by
him.
running your mouth and putting him in a position to have to do all of that. And I find we will put men in those positions and then say, well, why didn't you do this, that, and the other? Like you are, there's so many women on social media and like these celebrities that just act crazy, and then they get mad and say I don't have protection. Who can protect you? Like you are a walking red flag. You bring drama, you bring chaos. You like this man is going to have constantly be not only in battle with you but battle with the streets, because you don't know your role as a woman. And it's just it needs to be. I'm thinking of one particular person you did a video on when you talk about why are Christians want to talk about dating like their mother, like they want their mother. I'm gonna call her out, Jessie Woo. She's a beautiful woman, and I'm saying this, not him, okay? But I'm saying her voice. It's like nails on a chalkboard. She's so over the top, so just I feel like there's no peace or rest or joy with her. It's just so aggressive. Everything is somebody else's fault. She can't, and it's just, you can just see a woman like this, and she may not see this, how she attracts drama. And it's like she can't see herself, and no one in her life is actually checking her. Right. And actually saying these things, or any man that's tried to, either most men will be like, nah, I'm good. Like they don't want to deal with it, or they end up leaving. They thinking they can do all that, but then it's just too much. And I don't think so many of us see our blind spots like that as women. And she is definitely, I haven't met a man yet. They would say she looks nice, but I've had men say they couldn't even sleep with her.
Yeah, no,
because they would have to talk to her.
Yes,
and they just can't. They cannot do it. It's that bad.
It was multiple men on my stream saying that she's gorgeous, but when she opens her mouth, it's all bad. But that comes from her having bad experiences with her previous relationships, and she blames all men for those few men that she dated. And I'm like, and I understand that, and I see it, and like when you see me do these streams on her in particular, it's not coming from a place of a malice. It's just like, man, this woman, somebody needs to tell her about herself, And I'm just like, why hasn't anybody set this woman down? Because she immediately goes to the negative every time she talks about men. And I'm like, well, why would you do that? If you already think negatively, then you can always find something wrong with any man. So yeah, it's simple. So
no, and I agree with you. I'm gonna read some. Oh, we got some super chats in here. Let me see. Okay. So this is was it Torre Dome? I can't read. Okay, I tried.
Uh,
Terror.
Terradome. I was just saying that.
Is that Terradome? Okay, it's like
Yeah.
a different way to say Terradome. It says, hit the organ, clap, and dance past the collection plate. Mediumman preaching tonight. Lakers in 6-2.
That's what we talk about. We cool.
We gotta get to him.
We cool here.
Lil Boss says Mediumman seems perfect. I'm spitting, sorry. What are his vices?
Oh, what is my vices? That's easy. Sometimes I can be very selfish. When you're a guy who has been good with women, you know too much, right? You've seen too much, and that makes it hard for you to trust women, right? Because I've been in situations where I've been the guy that's waiting at home while she gets done with the date, with the guy that she doesn't like, right? I've seen how women move. I've seen how women react to certain things. And when you've seen too much, it makes it very tough for you to settle down. So one of my vices used to be women that I like, quality over quantity, right? So that's something that already, therapy. And that you guys are going to hear me say that a lot because it's done so much for me. I know how it was before and I know how I am now, right? So one of my vices is being very selfish and also women that I had to deal with. And I wouldn't even consider marriage if I wasn't ready, right? So yes, I will be honest about that. Most guys won't say that because they try and say that, oh, I don't mess with women. But while I was in my healing process, I was still dealing with women. Men don't process their purpose years like women do, because women will say, I'm going to remove myself from the dating market and focus on me, focus on myself, which basically means I'm removing guys out of my life so I can focus on bettering myself. Men were completely different. I can better myself while I'm still having sex with whoever, right? It just is what it is.
It's true.
And I wanted to, I'm glad I was able to drive that point home right here, because women want men to be like women in that aspect, and we're not. And I don't want men to conform and think that you have to remove yourself from the dating market while you're in your healing process or learning how to be a better man. Women can help with that. I'm sorry to say, it is what it is. You want feminine energy around you. That can help calm the spirit. And if the sex is good, that calms it even more.
I personally don't think women should step. I know some people who it's helped them, but in terms of mentally, but I don't think women should step away like they do from dating, because you have nothing to measure it against. Like you don't have real world practice. Like if your issue is you've been dating a certain type of man or you've been a certain way, then you're just healing alone for years. How do you act? You haven't been tested. You haven't had real world practice with these new things that you're learning. And I think so many women step away, and then when they go back into dating, they're too afraid. And they're well, I know all these things, but what if, and they like, listen, it's just knowledge. Okay. But it's not experiential wisdom. You have not lived it out. And so I don't know why we don't understand we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah.
We just get emotional and it's like, I'm removing myself from the market. These men are just going to have to do without me. And it's almost like it doesn't make any sense. Like no one steps away from a field and just like, I mean, they think of it as school. I think they think of it as school. Like you go to school to learn, but you're not actually working. And so they see it as the same thing.
Right.
But relationships are life. They aren't like school, but I do see women equated to that. So I don't know.
Wins, losses, and lessons. That's all relationships is. Yes, I've been heartbroken before. I'm not perfect. I mean, I've taken my L's out on these dating streets or whatever, but I learned, and I didn't make the same mistakes over and over again.
Hold up. Brian Wilson Coffee says what Mediumman said. I don't know what it is you said, but I'm telling you, this brother is cooking. Like y'all don't make no sense. If you have not subscribed to his channel, you trifling and you for the streets. Some men probably be happy to hear that they're for the streets. Okay, so I got to come up with something else. You simping and you're donating to Brittany Renner's stepdad.
That's funny.
Okay, if you do not subscribe, but I guess I don't know if you have what's another thing you would say or something that's on your mind with it, because guys, I like, listen, he's way better at this than me.
No, not at all.
Oh.
Come on now.
I know my role
No.
in this space, but no, this is why I'm excited about what you're doing, because I do not think you see it. I don't think you see it, how important and kind of your messaging and what it's doing for people in terms of, one, your data alone is very, like, no one else, like, I'm sure there's people doing it, but not in the way you've presented it. And guys, just check him out. Like, it's just, guys, we gotta encourage him to take call-ins live.
Oh,
can you imagine some of Kevin's callers calling him?
Yeah, that would be a short call.
Guys, that is on my Christmas wish list, but way earlier than Christmas. So we'll see what we can do. I told him, listen, they get out of pocket too much, I will delete. Okay, I will be the pit bull. I will argue with them. You don't argue with them, I will argue with them. Okay,
you got it.
I was like, first of all, you're not going to talk to him like you done lost your damn mind, sis. You're going to come here with respect or not at all.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I'm a very respectful guy to both men and women. It don't matter if you're young or old.
You're the good cop. But I'm the backup, but they don't understand you're slowly killing them with poisons and what they're doing. But anyway, okay, what is there something else you want to, or your next thing?
No, just want to give the guys a heads up that I'm gonna start focusing more on us in particular, because recently, I know you guys seen the John Morant situation where he got caught with another weapon. And I honestly was going to wait until next Monday to say this, but I'm going to say this now. I need men to stop telling John Morant he needs to join the military if he wants to play with guns. In the military, we don't play with weapons. We are highly trained. Some of the most amazing training, courses that I've been through have been in the military. So guys who play with weapons, they are not fit for the military, because we do not play. It's too much danger that goes on with handling those firearms and artillery and things of that nature. So I just hate when I see people, join the Marines if you want to play with weapons. No, because I own firearms, and there's no reason for me to even have my firearm out in my house. There's no robbers here, right? Why am I sitting here waving a firearm around for no reason? That makes no sense. The only time that I carry my firearm is either when I'm going to downtown areas, some places, when I'm with my girl, and I'm going to the range, right? But in the house, I'm not going to have it on the counter and just be playing with it and stuff like that. What I see on social media, that makes no sense. So stop telling John Morant or men like him to join the military because they can play with guns there. No, we don't play with guns, right? So some of my topics are going to focus on Black men, including myself, on where, we can get better, right? We've already talked about the women. You got your grievances out. Now we got to talk about us. There are some things that we need to improve. I need to improve in certain areas, and I'm going to give you examples how I'm making the process to do so, right? So that's what's going to be coming in the next, couple of weeks or whatever. I have a trip that I'm going on, so I'm going to enjoy myself, and then I'm going to prepare everything that I need to prepare before we get into the male topics, right? Also, the corporate spaces. We need to talk about that as well. I know Kevin Samuels had his rendition of that. I have my own rendition about what I've experienced and what I've seen. And we're going to definitely talk about it, right? So pretty much what I got. So.
And what would you say, because I'm curious as a woman, what would you say a woman needs to do to win in today's, like, if she wants to be a wife, if she wants to get married, what would you say would set her apart in the dating market for her to get a win? And then also, I mean, you've talked a lot about the men, but like, break that down for us. If you have any thoughts, I kind of put them on the spot with that.
No, this is fine. Outside of fitness, because we already know what that is, right? Fitness is number one. But the attitude, I talk to so many men, and they say these women have these bad attitudes or they are very entitled. We talked about that one issue where women are asking men to cash app them just to speak to them, and things like, just to speak to them. $60. Saw it on Spiritual Word. Some girl posted a text conversation with a guy. Hey, what's up? And she was like, $60. And he was like, what? And I was like,
Wait. Hold on.
yes.
Wait. Hold on. I
Yep.
don't mean to interrupt, guys, but
No.
I just need clarification because my brain is going in different places. So she got like they messaged each other like the DMs, and she said in order to even have a conversation with me, it costs $60.
$60 to talk to her, right? And she posted it like trying to shame him, but it kind of backfired.
He's broke.
Yes, it backfired on her.
What was she that fine that
it wasn't a picture, it was just the text conversation or whatever, but it was just funny to me, that type of stuff, but the attitude is the main thing that a lot of guys talk about. Even guys would, from what, and I do this for free. I've had men ask I'll pay for your time. I still don't know how to do that, like the consultation.
Calendly, guys, Mediumman, who is ready for Mediumman? Listen, I will set that up for him tonight. Okay, so because I'm trying to get this brother like pushed to the top because I do think he'll make real change. But yes, we need to get guys booking time. Do you have time right now?
That's what it's been. I've been getting emails from people saying, hey, I just, I want to speak to you. And I'm like, y'all want to speak to me? Like, what you mean?
No, no, because, as you grow, people are going to want to talk to you. I've done so many consultations. People say, Melanie, your fee is so high, this, that, and the other. Like, people are booking. Like, I'm sorry if you don't have the cash. And it's not to talk to me, to get with me. Okay. Like, these are people who have issues and they want to talk about things. And so, but yes, absolutely. I think that would be a huge part of your practice. Do you guys know how much Kevin charged for his consultations? He was at $1,200 at one point, and he raised it to $1,500. And he had people. I saw the thing booking him for this. And we're not saying jump out there like that, but it's important because people they want the one-on-one. So you would say attitude is what a woman needs to focus on: her fitness, her attitude. And what else is there anything else you just say? Should she be on dating apps? Should she be going out on a lot of dates, vetting a lot of men? Should she be worried about body count? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I discussed the body count thing. I mean, yes, you want a woman with a low body count, but realistically, how would you ever find out? Unless you're that good at finding telltale signs, or if you're going down the street and every man hollering at her, and giving her hugs, and that may be a tell sign. But for the most part, most women you won't know. But it is something that men look for, but it's not a conversation that you have at dinner, right? What's your body count? And I've heard men do that on social media, and that's a great way to not get a second date, right?
Or not get some booty.
Yeah,
like if it's not going, because men aren't dating for marriage necessarily. Yeah, so they may be dating for some booty. You ask that, it's
you messed that up. But yeah, just with women, and this maybe I just like feminine women. If you don't have to be quote unquote masculine, then why are you being masculine? And that's we talked about. My relationship. There's no need for that because I already got that covered. So why are you coming in? Everything is fine. You're safe here. I'm protecting. You're good. Everything is relaxing. So just relax.
He said you're safe here. You're good. Just relax.
You're good. But that's something that men need to provide.
Add the forehead kiss. I promise you, it's the draws. Everything is like you gonna get everything at that point. Because I do think they're like talking to a woman and understanding how to like you. It's really, really good to hear that, and I think a lot of women would agree with me. Some guys would be like, "That's simping. She should just." Yeah, just because you exist, like, and she's there, she's disrespectful, and they're just like, well, I'm done. Like, I shouldn't have to deal with that. Even though I do find that we cap a lot online. Like, people are just like, I would never deal with that. When we know in our real lives, people are nuanced and we deal with situations. And he talks about how he had to check his fiance in the beginning and set the tone for the relationship.
Right. And
So-
and I also had to, I had to listen to her issues that she had with me, and some of that had to do with time. Sometimes you can always justify why you don't have time, but if you really like somebody, you will make time for them. Right. And that's when I started to see things change a little bit, when I started making time or space in my life for this woman, because I wanted to see more of her. And the thing that kind of changed our relationship was, like, remember I told you I was used to these single servant relationships. So when I got orders to New Mexico, of all places, from the Pentagon to New Mexico, and I had to go to her and tell her, hey, I just got orders to New Mexico. Most of the time when I was dating a woman, she was like, oh, well, have fun, good luck. And if you come back in town, then we'll hang out again. The first thing she said, oh man, I've never been to New Mexico. I need to start looking up plane tickets right now. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean?
Wait, what should I say? Are you going? Am I getting as a city girls flued out? Like you're not going to buy me? Like she took initiative.
She started talking about New Mexico, and I was like, wait a minute, you want to come to New Mexico? She's like, yeah, I've never been. She's like, that's where you going? I'm going. And I was like,
"Oh, girl!"
I was like,
yes, girl, go get your man, girl. Yes.
Suddenly, I just start throwing money here. What do you want now? What do you want? Here. But
right.
men, most guys, most men are very generous by trade. But we just have to, and somebody said, if a woman is not entitled and she's treating a man right, a man will fit you into his budget. And that's true, right? When a woman is taking care of a man, what are we gonna do with money? We're gonna buy, I'm gonna buy golf clubs, I'm gonna maybe a tire or two, but the rest I'm gonna save.
Keep that same furniture, that same. Now your backdrop is decorated really nicely. Is that you? Was it you who put that together, or your fiance?
No, this was me. This was me.
Yeah, because your mother taught you about decorating and all of that. Most men do not, but usually it's a white wall. If there's a painting or there's art, it's like it's just one, and it doesn't fit the thing. There's no color, there's no rhyme or reason. It's just functional furniture. Women, we drive the economy in spending. Yes. So we're going to spend just because it exists, just because we're going to want it. But men generally are not spenders.
Yes.
Except for y'all love Costco.
I do love, oh, sweet.
You Costco is the way to a man's heart. You want to go to Costco? Yeah, I do need to go to Costco. Why do y'all love Costco so much?
Home Depot is my new thing, because I got some projects I want to work on. I'm making a platform for my my golf, game in the backyard. So I have a net. So I want to make a wooden platform to where I can put some artificial green.
How do you have time?
I looked it up on YouTube.
But how do you have time to
I'm
do
gonna
this?
I'm gonna make time to make.
You carve out time. Listen, you listen. You don't have little kids at home, so you just have your own thing. Okay, I'm gonna read some super chats really quickly. We have Kevin C. H&L.
Honduras.
Thank you. It's from Honduras.
Yep, that's my man.
Passport, bro.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. He supports me to the utmost. Like every premiere, live stream, Kevin C, he's in the building, donating. And like I said, man, I'm very grateful. I can't thank you enough, brother. Appreciate it.
Speaking on that, and I'm gonna read the rest of these. What do you think about Passport Bros?
I'm a fan because I'm a traveler. I've been to 47 countries, so it's rare that as a military guy, you can't expect a military man to go to all these countries and just be, oh, well, no, I'm black, so I'm not going to date this beautiful Spanish woman. And it's like, no.
Right.
So I understand it. I support the guys finding happiness. That's basically how I see it. I don't see it as anything malicious. Of course, you're going to have people that say some heinous things about, American women, but you have spaces that talk about everybody. But for the most part, the whole movement, I think it's something that is necessary because and one thing I want women to understand, most of these guys are literally going overseas to find a wife. They're trying to get married. That's
Right.
crazy. Most men don't even want to get married, but these guys are taking the initiative to go overseas to try and find a wife. If not a wife, they're just looking for some positive female companionship, right?
Mm.
And that's a difference. You get overloaded with this level of femininity because I've experienced it. I've been to these countries that these guys have been. I've dated women all across the world, and I can vouch that it is a difference. And most people say women are going to be women everywhere. I understand that, but you are going to spend regardless. If you stay in America, you go overseas, you're going to have to spend some money. But if you're getting something in return, such as femininity and being taken care of, you don't even see that money leaving because you're happy.
Wow.
And it's that simple. It's like, and again, I'm going to pull from Patrice O'Neal once more. He said it. He used to frequent Brazil. He said that in these other countries, you're Superman. In the States, you are Clark Kent, right? He's like, women see you as Clark Kent, but when you go over there, you like Superman, and you feel good. And then when you come back to the States, he's like, you can't treat me like Clark Kent because I'm Superman over here. I'm going back, right? I think the passport bros, that's what they get. They get a different level of femininity. They have the money to do so, to go overseas. And these are not guys that can't get women. They're not complaining about that. These men are complaining about not finding marriageable women. That's crazy to me. Like,
right. And women get mad, or they'll say, well, they're all broken, dusty. I'm like, they have to travel or spend money or have a position, a job or something where they can do these things. And I just don't. I support passport bros, and I have from the beginning. I became curious about it, and I just started asking. But you guys know, like, I know El Guapo, his wife is Colombian. Like, I don't, and I think a lot of American women see themselves above women from other countries, or feel like they own the men from their country. But men have been doing this for, no one got mad at Stella getting her groove back. Wasn't she a passport? Passport sis? And so we celebrate those things, just like we'll celebrate Cardi B's, drugging and robbing men and other things in a movie. Like, if a woman does it, there's a reason, there's understanding, there's it's hard, and we try to come up with things. If a man does it, it's automatically assigned with all of these negative things. But most of the men that I've talked to, the videos I've watched, first of all, a lot of these women are beautiful. They're intelligent. Like, they run circles. The education system of that country runs circle around ours. But these women are also, will have degrees and other things. But even if they don't, like, they know how to cater, cook for man. Like it's just a different upbringing. Is it all 100%? No,
it's not all 100%. It's definitely.
If you don't want him, sis, you don't own this man. Like, why is it your business to even? They're not talking about you with F boys and getting ran through on Netflix and chill. So let them do what they do.
My thing is this: for the women who don't like the passport bros, you have an issue with the passport bros. Cool. So the men who are staying here, what type of women are you giving them? So you need to be focused on them. So if the men decide to stay, are you the women that they're looking for? That's something that women need to discuss, because remove the passport bros. They already made their decision. They're gone. Now you have men that are still here. Are you marriage material for the guys that are here? That's a question that women need to ask who have a problem with the passport bros, because you have to give these men who are staying something to you have to have something to offer. And that's another thing. It's what I don't, and I'm sorry, I gotta say this. I have no respect for any black man or any man in general who says anything negative about what a man is doing overseas. I do not like any man who says something negative about the passport bros. You will never see me collab with these men. They are blocked from my platform. I won't even use their content. I know who I'm talking about. Don't need to say their names. But if you're a man who's sitting there going in on passport, another man, what he's doing with his Johnson, absolutely not, brother. I have no respect for you. If you have a problem with these men, just stay out of the conversation. Don't say anything. But I see too many men. Oh, these guys are dusty. You a grown man calling another man dusty? Like what kind of what
You
kind
know,
of game?
you know this dude. Guys are doing it. They're not. Listen, guys. I know guys who are top of the game in a lot of different industries. They're calling it passport bros, but these men have always had, like we've known like guys who are top, like, the super top, wealthy, high value men. They've always lived like this. They've always traveled and met women. It's now you're seeing the men that aren't like up, but they are good, solid, high value men, to even average men now are understanding that, seeing that they can get better results.
Right.
So because it's coming more to the masses, it's like it's a problem now. But the reality is these men are moving like high value men have always. The world has always been open in terms of dating and women for men of a certain caliber. If you have a problem with it, you cannot compete.
That's
And I'm gonna say it as a woman, like you, and a man complaining and gossiping and about another man. You sound like the real. I'm not gonna use this word because I'm cleaning up my things, but you sound like the Real House Usties, but with a B. You like get in the. And I'm not trying to put men down, but I'm saying from a woman's perspective, it's not attractive. We see you as a girlfriend, like yes, like a tag him girl. Like that's how we don't value you more. Like we're not giving you the draws. Like we're not giving you the box. We're not giving you like we see you. That is automatic way to friend zone yourself is to go against other men and be with us over here complaining about the men. Like I'm telling you now, it may feel good, or you may have women that be like, yes, but are these women sleeping with you? Are they wanting to date you?
I don't know
you. I want a man who can get women in every country.
Yeah.
I'm trying to level up. Okay, but go ahead.
No, but since the beginning of time, men have traveled to find other women of different countries. This is not something new. And just to be clear, Black men are the minorities in these countries. Every country that I've been to, it's always been more Asian, more white men, more Indian men, East Indian men, right? It's very rare that you see Black men in these spaces. So I don't know where our community thinks that Black men are just running the overseas, climate. Absolutely not. It's only a small minority of those guys. So.
Let me address something. Someone named Cheryl's World says, unless they're addressing trafficking, this is a worldwide problem, and people of all races, nationalities are involved. If you shut off all criticism, you create an echo chamber. This is my issue with that. They assume automatically these men are the ones who are trafficking. Like if you don't understand what real, like how they get, this has been happening for decades, and it is until Black men started doing it, no, women were not concerned about this in mass. It was why other races have been doing this for decades, and how come we are concerned about that, but how come I don't hear women at the same level speak about the women who are selling box to camels in Dubai, women who are selling their bodies, women who are where OnlyFans. Why aren't we? You should, because that's the sex trade as well. All of these things, and now we want to make it. Well, it's about that, and I understand that is a concern. I've actually done work with some of these organizations who are actually helping, especially trafficked children. I did a project with some people in Haiti with children being trafficked, and a couple other spaces. But I find that women who are concerned like this, they're not actually boots on the ground doing any work. Yeah. Involved in it. They just want to say these men are doing this, but show me the receipts where you have done work to before passport bros, and this has got on your radar. And this isn't a criticism. It's more of like, why is this now a big concern for you? How come there's opposites of this going on? But it's only the majority of men I talk to, they're looking for a relationship when they go out there. And it's not what we're talking about. But why do we assign such negative motives to men doing this? Why do women go automatically to the worst when there are women in the US doing far worse, selling and all types of things?
It's fake.
We don't have a problem with it.
It's fake love, fake caring, about the people that's overseas just because Black men are doing it. Like I said, it's sad, that we have people in our own community that think this way. You've never seen an epidemic of Black men getting arrested for trafficking overseas or even in the States. If you do the research, you can see what the numbers are.
Wait, do you
right?
have the numbers? Do you have the
I
numbers?
I did a live stream about this a while back about people fake caring about the women in other countries and they're protecting them for the black men who are trying to use them. And I posted the numbers a while back. I think I have to go find that video where I was showing, and I actually gave references. If women wanted to help, they can follow me.
Oh,
you
I
know,
remember that. And you were helping. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. My phone.
No.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize they are good. Keep going. I didn't realize.
I mean, it's ways that if you really are concerned and you want to help, I can give you some agencies that you can help. The World Food Program, they help in Haiti. They help in the Congo. I'm an avid supporter of them. I donate every year because I used to work with them when I was in the military, when I was overseas. So if you want to help and you are really concerned about trafficking, I can definitely get you to the right place where you can start helping by donating some funds so they can start getting the security measures in place to help these people. But if you're just saying it because you don't like black men, then you need to just be quiet, because I know your angle, and just stay out of these conversations because you're not really worried about what's going over there. You're just trying to make black men look bad. And I'm not here for that. All right. So I can help you. So
I tried to tell y'all, your boy is an assassin.
I mean, it's just
your boy is a and it's y'all, come on, y'all. We gotta get behind the brother. We gotta get him fighting. We gotta get behind him. All right, I'm gonna read some more super chats. That was excellent. Okay, so King P Beats, thank you for the $5. This is yours. You want to read it out, or I'm sure he wants to hear from you. Like, can you see it?
Oh yeah. He said with the $5 super chat, please clip this into timestamps. So many jewels. I'd like to react to it. Oh, I got you, good brother. Yeah, I'll figure it out how to do that.
His clip game is pretty good.
I'll figure it out, and I got you, good brother. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, this is yours as well.
Wow, man, what is that?
Tampa Bong.
What is that currency?
Is that the Philippines? I have no idea. It's a P. It's a P on the back end. I don't know what that is.
Attitude, not just aptitude, matters. Absolutely. I think it was referring to the women in regards to, the attitude, yeah, that's a big thing. Women miss out on points so many times with that bad attitude. You could be missing a blessing. That could be the guy that was going to take care of you, but your attitude is piss poor. Piss poor. Done. So, Real Bravado Network, what's going on, brother?
Shout out to him.
Yeah, that's the man.
Appreciate it.
Says I love this collaboration. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you. I got it.
All right.
You got it.
This is yours again. Listen, they showing you all the love. I'm broken dusty.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Broken dusty. That's
broken dusty. They like you, which is my plan, guys. He is better than me at this. No, Melanie, it's fine. I know my role and I have no issues with it. I just grift off of you.
I just learned that word.
Men that I know. That's what they call it, the grifting. I didn't even know. And I'm on my O'Shea game because I told him, I was just like, I'm gonna grift off you like you're grifting. But go ahead.
Nitty77 says, Mediumman, you are the captain now. Appreciate that $4 super chat, man.
I tried.
That's what
this is me. Red Boy says, that's funny. I'm watching this while at work.
Hey, see? if you in the Houston area, you probably see me in there, grabbing bulk items. So.
I can't do Costco unless my sister or my dad force me to go. My sister loved Costco.
They have so much there, though. Like, you could buy everything from Costco.
I feel like I overbuy in so many, I feel like household things I need for a while, or some good king crab legs in the Maryland area, because crab is my love language. So things like that, but I'm just y'all love it.
We go to Costco to buy oxtails.
Yeah, there's been a shortage actually.
Yeah, they love Jamaicans. I love oxtails.
No, I make oxtails.
Okay, there you go.
And here lately it's been a shortage. So the oxtail are tiny, and it's a tiny bit of meat, and it's all the fat and the bone. I haven't seen any. Are you getting good oxtail now?
Well, I don't pick
Texas.
Yeah,
so yeah. You're gonna get
Texas got everything. Anything that got to do with the cow. Texas is the
DMV
best.
is seafood, so there you go. This is yours as well. There you go.
Kevin again, man. See, my guy, $75 Honduran currency. Says a longtime traveler and former military. I'm settled with a great and wonderful wife. Now we travel and explore the world together. Big up to worldwide. Absolutely, brother. See, it's guys like that. Like if you, I just sometimes I just wish our women would just sit down and listen to black men and just understand their experiences. You know, because I mean, a lot could be cleared up if we just sat there and had a discussion. And I'm trying to get to that point where it won't be so contentious with black men and black women. We understand the statistics. Now let's move forward. Let's talk. And I'm in no way I'm telling black men to be quiet because I know, Lord knows black men have been oppressed from speaking their mind for years.
Yes.
So I don't want to be the guy to be like, okay, y'all got to stop. No, you have grievances, express them. But at some point, we have to get to an end goal of having the discussion, because the bottom line is all black men aren't going to go overseas and travel to find wives, and all black women aren't going to leave the country or divest. So we have to figure something out, right? That's
all right.
Simple.
I agree 100%. But what he's talking about, that's the dream I have.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to be able to travel and do my thing and be with my man. Okay. Y'all can stay here and argue with, in these streets, but I'll be on a cruise somewhere doing my, listen, you get all love. This is you again.
Grover, man, THPP Network. These guys, their production on their videos is amazing. That's the first thing that drew me to their content. I'm telling you, it's lead-ins, everything. It's just amazing. Like, these guys are great. Me and Grover, we spoke for about an hour and some change a while back. Good brother. I love their platform. He is very familiar in the travel spaces. I haven't talked to his counterpart yet, but these brothers are doing their thing over there. Just to read the super chat before I stop big upping them. Look at my G here spinning that fire with Miss King. Salute my G. Appreciate the support, man. As always, brother. Now, anytime I get a chance to shoot out your content, and just let people know, I'm more than happy to do so. Thank you.
All right. That was Black Lexicon. What's up? He says, ask MM to share with the audience what was the most romantic country he unexpectedly visited. The one taking a woman to would help
rekindle
to kindle a fire. Which country would you take a woman to?
There's actually two.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wait.
First of all, Barcelona, Spain, amazing. And then also, this is generic, but Paris, France. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've been there in 2009. I was I think I said this before. I was dating a woman who was stationed in Italy. We took a trip to Paris, France, and when I tell you everything that they say about that being like the country of love and all that type of stuff, it is. It's amazing.
Wow.
It's a great place. Here very soon, I'm going to the south of France for the first time. That's going to be a little bit different experience because I'm going to be on the water. We're going to have a great time out there. But from the places that I've been, it would definitely be Barcelona, and also Paris, France. Yeah.
So I've been to Paris. I went to Barcelona years ago, but I would say in Paris, I would say the Eiffel Tower at night, the way it glitters. If you can get a spot, like even at Airbnb, that you can look at the Eiffel Tower at night, it absolutely is beautiful. I will tell you guys from a woman's perspective, the best trip I've ever been to was a cruise, and it took us through Greece and Italy. I would say the Amalfi Coast.
Wow.
Is when I tell you I am rushing back, there are no words for how beautiful. And first of all, this is the best cruise vacation. I cannot say enough. But when we went to the Amalfi Coast, if you guys I don't know how to explain it. It was just magical. Like Sorrento, and there's so many places. So that's my perspective on it. So, but I agree with him.
I need to go to I haven't been to Santorini, Greece yet. That's one place.
I went to
the white
Santorini.
backdrop, and everybody taking the pictures there. So yeah, that is definitely on my list.
You want to stay, if you go, to stay on the cliffside.
Okay.
Because I just kind of like did a day trip through it. And if you stay on a cliffside and just like you're staying, because they just like overlook the water, it's absolutely beautiful. I will tell you though, like if you go to Mykonos,
Okay.
the beach where they talk about, it's just gravel. Just so y'all know,
It
there's
just
not
looks
like
better.
soft sand. It is gravel and it
Wow.
hurts. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But the beaches are rocky. They're not smooth. Anyway, sorry guys, I'm giving detail y'all didn't ask for.
No, hey, we need it.
Okay. There you go. This is you again.
Yeah, like I said, he travels a lot. THPP Network, $4.99 super chat. Most trafficking is in China, North Korea border. Has nothing to do with passport bro. Period. It's a straw man argument. Absolutely. Like I said, he can explain it a little bit better than I can. It's like I said, it's a way of shaming black men. That's why I always dismiss it every time somebody says something. Oh well, what about the women and these men? No, I know what you're doing. Stop it.
Hold on really quick. Someone mentioned Malta. I went to Malta. If you haven't been to Malta, it looks like a movie scene from Game of Thrones.
I've been there. That's we have military operations in Malta.
It's like all limestone. Like this is the most expensive looking little island country I've ever seen. But fun fact, after I went, I came back and I found out they filmed Jurassic Park there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it. But I woke up on my cruise and I opened the curtains. I was just like, if you have, you know what? I'm not going to, you know what? I'm going to start doing travel vlogs because y'all need to see this. And I need to recoup the business expense.
Okay.
So you need to film all your travel so you get your business expense. This is your guy again, Quiet Storm. Medium, you breaking
the Quiet Storm. Like I said,
tonight.
If anybody was, I mean, I wouldn't expect him. He does so much for me in the chat, but appreciate it, brother, with the $25 super chat. Salute Mediumman, veterans and worldwide travelers unite. Retired combat veteran here with 13 deployments and 5 combat tours. Has visited 40 countries with a plan for more. Absolutely. Man, in my chat, we have some of the most accomplished guys over there. Like these men, I am impressed. Like very much so. It's crazy over there. So I just as much as y'all learn from me, I learn from you as well. So
and you know what's funny, Groman? I was gonna say this, like, why do I like even when Kevin was never military, but kind of like that very more disciplined, the way guys are. People may ask like how I relate to, or I'm actually drawn to men like that. And I think it's because of how I grew up. My dad is that way. I grew up in DC. Everyone worked in the federal government or military in my family. And again, I did work at the White House. I grew up in the Pentagon, and like my dad, even once he retired, he was one of the biggest contractors for DEA. And I have U.S. Marshals. I have Secret Service. A friend of mine, I was just talking to him before this, he's in the Secret Service. Like, so I think this is an untapped military men, especially, I don't know in different parts of the country, but I would say particularly in DC, the way they are is very attractive. Like they're very masculine and but at the same time, they're not like jerks. They're not, they just know what they want. I feel like I need to be doing a date on a dating show. Get a couple of these military guys up here. All right, guys, he had to pause for a second. Okay, so we're going to wrap up shortly, but I will tell you this. This is one reason why I did resonate even with Mediumman's message, because this is how I grew up. Been like, just it is what it is. And I do believe a lot of women haven't been exposed to that. And it seems it just is off-putting. Right? Or you may have a negative view about men, and in particular, black. I did not know people did not like black men. I did not know black men and black women were at war. I did not know in the dating market, everybody was at war, just because it wasn't my experience. Again, my parents have been married 45 years. Everybody in my family's been married a very long time. Women who've had careers, they're not boss chicks. Similar to how he described his fiance, they still are women. They just work. So what you experience, maybe where you're from, on the people you know, just know that's not everywhere. You can't put everything into the same category. And if you just kind of narrow your view to just what's on the internet and what's your experience, you're not going to realize there's other ways to do things. There's other people out there. But in particular, I want to say I am really sick of people coming against passport bros. They're not hurting anybody. They're not hurting anybody. And nobody cared about what they were doing until Black men started doing it, right? And trying to give men an alternative. I guarantee us women, and we can get sex if we're traveling around, the world. But if we can get marriage or relationship from that, what will we do? What will we do? Are you ready? You want to come back real quick? And we're going to wrap it up, guys. We're going to wrap it up. But let me just
so you talk about the president. I know my military folks are familiar with this stuff. These are M&Ms from Air Force One. President Obama's signature on there. So I still got those. I got my mints from doing security for the president. So yeah, I got all that stuff. So I've been in these streets doing a lot. So
like, we're gonna have women run into the DMV when I'm done. I'm about to promote. But I do want to do dating shows with eligible women and men in particular, and have those conversations. But we also need to get some of this hyena and simp work done too. I know you don't want the hyena work, but in the simp work. But guys, make sure you're supporting Mediumman. Go over to his channel and subscribe. This brother's doing amazing work. Any last comments you want to give or closing?
No, this was amazing, and thank you, for accommodating me on my Mondays that I'm able to stream. Like, this was great. Wow. I can't thank you enough. You've helped my channel grow so much. So all, the message getting out there, you had a huge part in that. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up. I appreciate all the super chats and all the support you guys have given. Once again, please go over to Mediumman's channel. His channel is way better than mine. And no. It's important that it is, because I do think men should be leading the relationship discussions. Women have had decades to do this, and look at the mess we're in. Let's keep it real. So support him, subscribe, make sure you like this video, and we will see you on the next one. Wait, salute. Wait. Okay. I did it wrong. Y'all military people don't fire me. Okay. Bye, guys.
Peace.